is my product actually selling it for the founder? Apart from Steve Jobs, nobody has a success story who can show me in brand attribution that okay, my product is getting sold because of the founder, except agency.
Elon, I feel, is a very PR-driven strategy.
But Elon is solving top line. You are not buying Tesla for Elon. You are buying Tesla for a good product.
A lot of brands who are creating podcasts and stuff as well, right? I don't know how many of them today are really cracking packaging really. Like they're creating a podcast for podcast's sake because Nikhil Kamat's podcast blew up, but are they really thinking from what's the core idea? Like are they getting too much into thumbnail, titles and everything, right?
We had the creative director who worked on the Steve Jobs' iPod campaign. He showed us a video actually of his agency's branding. My boss, he said, showed this to Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs loved this so much and said, I want this as our positioning. So he took this agency's positioning and they made it Apple's.
Both from an agency side, both from a brand side, it is not making sense to me because every year the budget shift from this growth team, performance team sucks in the budget from this brand team every year. And it is even higher. Yes, there are cycles where you can say, okay, once a company reaches IPO, brand team will have the budgets.
We are building a lot of surrogate pages here. I think with most brands, they cannot be social. So that's why this whole idea of a surrogate page is there, where let's create this alternative page. They rely purely on organic to get distribution. Like it's about getting attention oneness and then funneling it into something that you need for as a brand.
Don't you think organic content is also a function of creative craft? Obviously with AI and things, number of people required will reduce. Then you risk craft or risk quality. Thanks guys for making time to do this. We were supposed to have one more guest, but unfortunately, you know how marketers' life is. Even on weekends, we're called into work, so we couldn't do this. But anyway, a lot of things to discuss. But apart from that, how's professional life been? Anything?
He's a big stuff now.
Wow. I mean, I have big career pivot of sorts,
Oh,
so.
Shit.
I mean,
what is the new industry you're going to create and ruin marketing for all of us?
Ruin the market. Shit. So, I mean, I've been in performance marketing for 6 years. So, in 2019, I worked in a very small agency. I don't talk about it much.
What is that agency called?
It's called WiredIn.
Yeah. Very small.
Very small agency. So, started performance there. 2 years ran performance agency. I did scroll stuff for 3 years. Now, I'm venturing into organic content a lot more.
Acha, performance and then organic.
Performance and then organic,
is, social media.
Social first, yeah.
You think that is a bigger TAM or
I think it's a bigger TAM, but it's also more the need
because
the market will have.
You are fighting with TNT under talented.
Yeah.
You're fighting with there are a hell lot of people. WLD.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, if anyone starts an agency today, they probably started as that, right? Because that's most closer to Gen Z, I would say.
Also, so. I think his defensibility was perf plus creative combination. This is easy entry. A lot.
Anybody can do it.
But why are you getting into a tougher?
See, I don't think from the business perspective it's tougher. I think it's more like I'm operating from what does the market really need going forward. And I think with perf creatives and stuff, I mean, we do almost 200, 250 videos at Scrollstop now. I can see that market where it's going, and we are still like riding the wave to the case. Like we've onboarded, say we close Manyavar as a client now.
Oh, nice.
So even legacy business is coming. So we're talking to say Java motorcycles. So these old school guys also coming in. I think there's still a market over there, but at the same time, I don't see performance marketing being the same for 2 years plus. So I don't see a longer term game over there.
Why? As a service or
as a service, yes, and I think as an effective channel for a lot of brands also, I don't see it as the most one.
Why is that?
Why? I mean, which is I think a bigger thing which we'll definitely get into probably, which is...
You agree with this?
Mixed feelings. See, I feel every brand will do what they know.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is the case now,
And they're always... there's always FOMO of what you don't know.
Yeah.
And then eventually you end up over-investing on things you don't know. That's typically what marketing trends I have seen. Versus also, there's also other side where they are spending a lot on what they know. That's also there.
Yeah.
But the FOMO always brings you to do. So I think it's very complex. I think like we were just talking about supply-demand issue, right?
Yeah.
Which is there in our line of work. So a lot of brands are driven by what their competition is doing, and that won't change.
Exactly.
But I get what you mean. I feel that this trend of performance being less important has been on since 14.2 change came about. So I think in the future, creative will be the thing that matters anyway, regardless of what you do.
Which was how it was earlier.
Yeah, exactly, right? And I think digital ecosystems are maturing. So traditional creatives slowly are getting weeded out and the new creatives are coming into the
Digital,
business.
yeah.
And they are understanding all parts of it. But I still feel growth and performance has a role to play.
100%.
I don't know as an agency, because I know for a fact, if you looked at number of accounts that we ourselves had in 2019, 2021 to now, it's a lot lesser.
Okay.
But the quality of work now is a lot more than what we were doing in those years. Because in those years, to be honest, we were exploring, brands were exploring, everybody was exploring what all you could do with performance. So that has changed for sure.
Yeah.
But
Now they're more mature. They know how it works. Yeah.
But what do you see? Why you see organic as the next?
I mean, I think with performance, it's not the most effective channel for a lot of brands. Let's say
Of
we're
course.
working with a lot of brands, they're not ROI positive on performance marketing. Like you said, they're doing it because that's what they know. That's maybe it's
So you are
something
saying
that
organic is more ROI positive than performance on
it's
PA?
the more longer term play.
How will you justify?
I mean, in terms of justification on cost, it's not an immediate ROI. It's more of a long term game, right? But at the same time, like even say where one of my bigger things is that like, I'll tell you how performance market is going, right? We use a tool called Atria. Okay, Atria, just long story short, is like it helps you see ads from ad library, right?
Atria is that foreplay competition
Foreplay
from
competition.
India, right?
Yeah.
No. That's AdNova. Yeah.
Atria is not India.
Atria is not India. So it's made by like a former PM at TikTok and stuff. So I'll tell you one thing with Atria and what's happening in performance in general is, dude, in Atria you can see a static image ad.
Yeah.
You can click one button, you can copy it.
Correct.
Right, and you can just throw your brand's logo there. It's done.
Correct. You can also just take a screenshot of it and drop it
Put
on
on
ChatGPT and say,
exactly.
okay.
So the thing is now that's happening increasingly performance marketing, right? Like I'll give you an example. The bottleneck earlier for a brand to launch a static ad was how many designers I have. Let's say one designer's output of 20 statics a month. Now with GPT, that's suddenly 100. All these creators have been deployed on the meta auction, right? So your CPMs are just going to go up now. So the thing is, already brands are ROI positive, and the way the trend line is going is it's just going to decrease further.
Sure, no doubt about it. Because see, this is like I remember watching videos in 2015-16 where people are like, "Hey, listen, whatever you're paying as CPM today is going to be tenfold in 10 years or more than that, right?"
Yeah.
And that's obviously going to happen because it's the same as offline. I'm sure at some point in time, offline advertising in terms of hoardings were very cheap and affordable, and it's not. I think it's a maturity of the channel and the medium.
Yeah.
But when that happens, I think something new will open up, right?
Exactly.
Like Meta and Google will probably saturate, but something else will come through, which
Will be
might
the new platform,
yeah.
yeah.
So I still think by the logic of that, you can still do performance on that platform, for example.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I think, but we don't know where new platforms will be like now. Yeah. But I think attention right now is the most fragmented it's ever been.
True.
Yeah. Like I was seeing a reel yesterday, which is great, which is we killed boredom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that'll anyway, again, for that also, like, for example, in Australia, how they're not letting teenagers use social media.
Yeah.
So if some kind of move comes that
Like
way
that,
and then they force...
It's going to come very soon.
Yeah, it will. I think it will too.
Okay.
Because I think someone is going to diagnose and say 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds shouldn't be on Instagram. I'm certain that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
So when that happens, I feel the world will again have some stability, maturity, and then new things will come, right? I don't think the skill that we have developed in terms of paid media and distribution is going to go away.
Yeah.
And that's going to last. So, and like if you ask us, I think one of the blessings for us has been because we did creative and performance, media buying became a very natural service that we just went into.
Yeah.
So don't you see some kind of possibilities like that coming out of it for you? You took the other route because you could crack performance content. You were saying you will crack organic now.
Yeah.
But otherwise also, don't you think there's some other benefits to it?
I mean, I think distribution will always be the thing. Right now, we are getting distribution through paid. It's inorganic, right? But I think organic has always had. I don't think one organic impression same as one inorganic impression. So I still think that's like a bigger market and a bigger problem to solve.
But don't you think organic content is also a function of craft, creative craft? Like ability to say the best creative story on a channel or to ability to create it in whatever ways, right?
Yeah.
Obviously with AI and things, number of people required will reduce.
Yeah.
So it'll be easier to maybe create a good high functioning, high performance team, but it's still a function of craft, right? So then is volume, because I feel distribution through organic is a function of volume. Like if you create
to some degree,
50 reels, then you're going to create
more likely
right.
more views.
But
Yeah.
then you risk craft or risk quality.
Yeah.
So won't it
So you have to find the balance for sure. I think in terms of organic, there's two DNAs. There's the creator, that's a creative person, that's more craft, like you said. Then there's a distributor, which is how can I get more views. But I think, let's say if you're doing something more longer form like YouTube also, I think these things still apply over there also a lot. Let's say for a lot of brands who are creating podcasts and stuff as well, right? Like, I don't know how many of them today are really cracking packaging really well. Like, they're creating a podcast for podcast's sake because Nikhil Kamat's podcast blew up, but are they really thinking from what's the core idea? Like, are they getting too much into thumbnail, titles and everything, right?
Right.
That's, I think, where there is a more thing required.
But do you think there are brand managers, let's say, because I feel individuals who want to grow on YouTube is a very different TG to brand managers who are sort of given the mandate to find an agency to run a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
Do they understand the importance of things like this? And if they do, are they in a position to influence the organization to say, hey, this is important, we should work? Because they don't always meet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, for example, I know there are certain codes what work on YouTube.
Yeah.
A lot of brands in their guidelines will be against using of those codes.
Correct,
so how do you navigate that?
I think, at least from what I've seen right now, there are way more brands who are open to it.
Are they smaller brands or are they legacy brands?
They are legacy brands.
I see.
So I think with legacy brands, there's an element of FOMO where it's like, oh, we should also be on YouTube, we should do this thing, right? So even with a lot of brands that we're already working with right now, the conversation is very much like we have to crack YouTube. That's something which I've heard from a lot of brands now. And many of them are very like, again, they still don't know how it is. Like you said, it's not, they're not comfortable with it also.
Right.
With some of them where it's like, they want every 90 seconds you to plug the brand somehow. Like, why does the audience care about that? So that will take some time to go there, but at least right now we're seeing budgets are coming that direction.
Right. Interesting. I was speaking to a gaming brand recently and they wanted to launch a podcast. We went round and round.
Sin brand.
Sorry?
RMG.
No.
Normal gaming.
Normal, right? And I realized at the end of it, I just concluded the meeting asking him, why don't you just pick the top 10 gaming creators and just sponsor their podcast instead of creating your own and then putting people and spending on payroll to manage that internally. And does anyone in the company have a vision for this? No. You're doing it because it checks a box. So it's the wrong reasons to do it.
Yeah.
So I think there's this again, I feel we are in the early stage of the market hasn't matured.
Yeah.
But I
Give it
like
a year
this.
or two,
But this is good because Facebook is done. We are past that. Instagram, we are somewhere now. It's a check in the box.
Yeah.
YouTube is the next frontier.
YouTube is the next one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think probably a good place for you. You've been in this for
for
longer than
me,
all of us.
Good place for me. I think. I have seen 3 cycles. I have seen 2018 cycle. Was working directly with Meta. In fact, that Pocket Aces story was interesting because it was not just YouTube. I was handling Snapchat, Moj, Daily Hunt. Not Daily Hunt, sorry. I was handling Snapchat, Moj, Chingari, Instagram, Meta, IGTV, YouTube.
Wow. Yeah.
For 3 channels. Gobble was a food channel, Dice Media was a long format, Filter Copy was a short format. We BuzzFeed was dying. We took over the whole BuzzFeed team, built a company called Nutshell. Nutshell mein there was a girl called Kavya Karnatak, who is a huge creator right now called Kavya KK Creates. There was a guy called Manish who is a huge creator of 3 million. Viraj Gilani was an employee. He is a huge creator. All of these creators were ex folks. In fact, Dhruv, who was a Little Things actor, was a writer at Pocket Aces. They were all employees. In fact, if you check this Sandesh was an employee of Scoop Whoop.
Yeah.
Every story is pointing out towards same model. But and there was a company called Loco. I think what Pocket Aces I remember was doing back then. I remember the founder story, very interesting. 3 bankers coming from Wall Street trying to open an entertainment industry in India and putting first principles and saying that, hey, we will do something in entertainment, not media. And the playbook looks like a Disney playbook. Now, what does it mean? The motto, I remember the tagline was, we will kill boredom, aisa kuch, what he was exactly mentioning. Now, in their thesis, they had amusement parks.
Nice.
They had music. So they were like, entertainment is top line. Entertainment is not just media.
Yeah.
I'm a product of that. I still carry that thought. So every View and that company got sold to Krafton. Loco got sold to Krafton PUBG. Pocket Aces is now under Saregama. Culture Machine is dead. TVF has been trying to sell twice or thrice. BuzzFeed is dead. Scoop Up is sold to WLTD.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was working back then with YouTube India team, they were saying the same thing, that the product managers inside YouTube has only one incentive, which is if you are getting dopamine hit right now to become bigger, Next year you will not. Because the incentive of the product manager is to incentivize new
people,
acquisitions, new users.
Yeah.
And brand is the last thing for them.
Yeah.
And here is an interesting theory that I have, which is YouTube organic fights with Google Ads.
Yeah.
Right. If brand starts deploying majority money into YouTube, it is somehow gonna take away the money from Google Ads and going to here. So these two teams are already fighting. I don't think it is gonna happen at all. So my theory says that is part number one. Part number two, I completely agree with Saanand's side, which is if a founder. So what I have realized, I have worked with. So we are working with what Acco Drive. You name any legacy company, out of 10, 5 may say I have had conversation about YouTube. They don't believe. That is the reality.
Yeah.
It's just the branded who believes.
Yeah.
And he or she believes only because market mein ek naya lollipop chal raha hai. I want to be a part of the lollipop because hey, I can socially signal that hey, I know the cool stuff.
Right.
Uspe. If a founder is not believing, they will not.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the CMO believes or not. I'm noticing founders not believing because I have been part of table conversations where they are saying, yeah, exactly what Saanand was saying. Why should I not do an influencer integration and be asset light?
Yeah.
Why should I have the headache of
Building completely?
building completely? So it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It requires vision, and vision is the hardest thing to actually find if you are delegating the responsibility to somebody else to
100%.
run.
And second is I feel humans innately, any VC funded company by DNA is wired by adrenaline rush. So they are used to see those exponential spikes. With that theory, only Instagram sits.
Yeah.
Of massive.
Yeah.
So it makes absolute sense, I feel, for you to go as an Instagram because everyone is happy. Okay.
Yeah.
You hit a 1 million, he is also signaling the boss and all this.
Yeah.
YouTube is 2000, they don't get any.
Yeah.
You can say, I create the best thumbnail, they're like, hey, theek hai, numbers nahi aa rahe, what the hell will I do with this?
Yeah.
So,
on the note of YouTube, there's been a chatter now about social dramas, right?
Yeah.
Of that being the next thing.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
I don't think so either, right?
This theory, I am hearing since 2018.
Okay.
Pocket has wanted to buy someone out. There was a company called Vidhu, a Korean large OTT company, attempted something vertical in India, did not work. I'll tell you where the business lies from a business model and also from a brand side. If we all build a vertical web series for a brand on Instagram, it makes absolute sense. Building this as a business model as a product makes no sense. Makes no sense, I feel.
No, agreed. I also think so Ogilvy US did something recently with a brand. I'll try and pick it up. I shared with you on Instagram. Right? They did something that was very interesting. And what I realized is that was a campaign. So probably it still probably cost a lot because it's a 10-part series. Yeah. They probably shot it all and then downsized into 10 episodes, but it still required a certain level of craft and production to make it. Now, if you are in the business of doing that every day, then you are like any other production house making OTT content or whatever. It's a complete deviation, right? And better than that again is to plug your brand into something that's already there. It's easier. So a lot of people I meet now, smaller agencies are saying they're starting up a small 5-member team, largely on production-based skills, saying we're going to pitch social dramas to brands and hyperlocal brands, for example, right? Just because of the one Brooklyn creamery or whatever that coffee shop, that example. But I'm just looking at the logistics. I'm trying to plan how would you manage the P&L around that as a business. It makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
Even I remember I was asked, an idea did come in our table as well about 4 years ago. We were pitching to a brand, we were working with a brand and we were doing one particular campaign with them for one particular festive or occasion over the years. So we did 3 versions of it. The 4th, we were like, what else can we do? And then we realized the budget has grown from year 1 to year 4 by 4 to 5x. So we said, okay, now instead of doing a traditional advertising campaign, why not we just make a short film? Like we thought about it ourselves. Because we wanted to do something different because we ourselves had tried every other format before. I feel a strategic, tactical move rather on those grounds makes sense. But if you have to just get into only doing social dramas, I don't see it work ever. Yeah.
I'm not a big believer of formats. Like format is not a mode for any company. It doesn't make any sense. You do it as a part of a larger media mix.
Yeah.
Makes sense. In fact, what Vidhu was saying, I don't agree with that because fundamentally that is not sitting if I am the CMO.
Which part? Vidhu said a lot of things we don't agree
So
with.
majorly which is performance versus organic. Organic is going as a bigger wave. Both from an agency side, both from a brand side, it is not making sense to me because I tell you fundamentals. Fundamentals mein, you have been a part of the ecosystem, you have been a part of the ecosystem. We are noticing every year the budget shift from this growth team, performance team sucks in the budget from this brand team every year. And it is even higher. It is even higher and higher and higher. Yes, there are cycles where you can say, okay, once a company reaches IPO, brand team will have more budgets. यार मुझे उसमें भी challenge दिख रहा है. What I'm noticing is, I have started noticing that influencer marketing suddenly starts sitting under growth. And this movement is happening, not sitting under brand. Why? Because this chief brand officer or a brand head is not able to build an attribution model. Only that. Now it's a talent issue. Now if anyone solves that, either an IM solves that, either anyone. So I get a lot of reach outs from larger legacy companies that, hey, can you come and train our internal team to make sense out of this content and whatever investments we are doing. Technically, every time I have switched off brand tab, I have seen nothing changes in my PNL. In fact, my PNL looks better. Every time I have switched off.
For sure,
Airbnb has done that experiment. Everyone has done those experiments. I unfortunately have not yet figured out what does this organic actually solves. I have only one theory right now, and it's a scary theory, which is world has shifted from organic being a top of the funnel to middle of the funnel. Which is there is an ad, a person sees an ad, goes to a YouTube, types review, sees content, and here is where the main part comes. I was having a chat last week with someone I really respect, and he said this very profound statement. Trust is when you don't talk about it. When others talk about it. So if you have to optimize trust as a brand, the theory is not right where you are talking about it every time. So when that funnel is happening, that people are going and typing boat reviews. Only if I have a lot of influencers talking about it, not me creating a
that's a real trust.
That's my trust. Now that is my middle funnel. Now the only check that social media page solves is people click on that when an ad is seen. Oh, this has high followers. ठीक ठाक brand है. Like no one is buying Zomato because they saw an ad, for an example, let's say. So it is not sitting on the PNL anymore. So I don't know where will we head, but
is that also like a short-term game? Like, of course, today you need to justify the cost.
No, I don't see. I in fact see it as a long-term game. In fact, honestly, like, okay, let's do a wild experiment. Who is your favorite brand? Let's say
Nike.
Nike, for example.
Nike, okay.
Why? Were you surprised?
No, okay. Just saying, okay.
Let's say
actually, Adidas.
Let's say you were the India head, and you had 5 lakhs, and you had 5 areas to pick. Events, building an event IP, so sponsoring an event, building an event IP, doing only influencers, creating an IP with an influencer, and investing that into your social media. Where will you put your money?
Ideally, I would break up and put everywhere.
Correct. Or where will be the lowest money?
Or I would look at which channel has been giving me how much in the past and then divide it accordingly.
Where will be the? It will not be a.
What are my options? Social.
So you have event sponsorship. Event IP building. Your own event IP.
Right.
Investing into influencer marketing. Building an IP with an influencer. Or just your own social media page.
Right.
Social influencers.
Least amount. Technically, so your own social will cost you the least.
You will
ideally
put money least there.
Yeah, but I think it's also that's the one where you can control costs. So you would ideally put that at the end and then peg against the others. Wherever talent is required is higher. again, on influencer, I have my own like thing on a brand like Nike probably doesn't need as much influencer, right? But if I was building A6 or maybe what is that brand 656 what sponsors the Indian football team, I'm assuming not many people have heard about it, their influencer would come in, so I'd pick and choose, but anything that requires talent and anything that actually requires like IP creation, I think would be the most expensive, without doubt.
So for an example, what if I tell you the wild theory? Now let's say he is on the table selling Instagram as a service. Now we are on the table, we are saying that hey, let's do one thing, let's create an event IP, let's create a influencer IP. We will send people to shoot and cover that, which will get converted into an Instagram content. On a media mix or a strategy level, this makes absolutely more sense. Versus you saying that okay, I will make 10 viral focused content only on Instagram. That's what I'm talking about. That okay, from a strategy level also, it is but how will you coin it? You will not coin it okay, this is social. You will not coin it okay, this is Insta. You will not coin it, this is YouTube. This is what I'm talking about. Unless and until we start looking at the brand like the old school brand, you're not putting in boxes and thinking okay, theek hai, main ye karunga.
But that will come with maturity, right? That comes with maturity. So on the note of maturity, I think what's also happening is a lot of marketing maturity is coming in marketers who've been there, but at the same time they are forced to acknowledge the change in consumer habits, and with Gen Z being a factor, they are also in a zone where they're like, hey, I have conviction now with experience, but is that relevant today? And then they get into the mix as well. So, but I get your point of view. You made a remark in the course of what you were saying about influencers sitting under growth, right? I'll tell you my point of view. I've always considered influencer as media. Right? Creative is a subset, but it's mainly optimized for distribution. That's how I looked at it always, because you can't control the creative there, because it is the creator's narrative, right? They want to do it. So then the best you could do is look at it as form of media, what you can control. Hopefully, ideally, or at least 80% you can control, and the remaining is the creative that you co-create with the creator. So I've looked at it that way. I get a sense that you look at it the other way.
No, I look at it the same way.
Okay.
What I was mentioning.
But do you know examples where people look at it the other way, where it's more creative first? Because I
will challenge with founders, the new breed of founders. I think the issue is not.
When you say new breed, they're like in the 20s today?
No.
Okay.
No, in their 30s.
Any
first
founder,
really?
30s, 35, 40s. I think this breed is like this. Okay. Any founder who is first principle thinker is challenges this norm, because there are not enough brand heads countering them. If you do the social experiment, get India's top brand heads and get India's top growth heads, you will see a difference in body language, conviction, because this person, only by the virtue that this person has seen enough data and this person has not, you will see the confidence. That's it. That's it. And I think the only problem that is happening is I think it's happening from the supply side. Who is supplying this? Your Micas of the world, your the creative part of the world. And top line में क्या हो रहा है जाके the every time the founders are asking, show me why am I investing? And there is not enough counter of building this thesis. Hence the power dynamic shift has started happening towards that. That's it. Nothing else. They are like okay ठीक है ये कोई justify कर लेगा वहाँ पे. So you just need more counter. Nothing else.
Right.
So the leaders are not yet well equipped. Like for an example, YouTube का ही बोलता हूँ. Huge brand. Okay, I'll not name them. Everyone aspires. Huge. 3,000 plus CR. Asks me a simple thing. Hey, I'm giving you two options. You know MCN, multi-channel network? I'll give you three options. Should we build MCN? Like a 01 network is not an MCN, but chalo theek hai.
We'll come to that. I have a question.
If they were owning that, let's imagine. Should we build an MCN, which is surrogate pages? Should I be asset light, because my fundamental principle of building my product team and business was asset light. Now here is the main part. When I heard that word, that triggered me that hey, this founder is an asset light founder, Silicon Valley concept and all. How am I expecting he will hire a CMO who is saying, oh no, I need to be full of assets. You get what I'm trying to say. There is the first mismatch happening. I need to be asset light. So what if I start creating IPs with a lot of creators? I'll just pay them money. You build my
Yeah,
IP. This is
right.
my IP. I'm just holding that IP for a longer time.
Hmm.
And the first part is only one channel. Debate and tell me that, okay, which one should I do? Honestly, for the first time when someone asked me this, I said, I'm not able to sell you YouTube. Honestly, it was making no sense for me. Even if I know the fact that, so for an example, when I was working with Raj, it was a different reason altogether. Like his reason was, okay, I want to beat Diary of a CEO.
Yeah.
वो reason अलग है. You will do YouTube. So if I'm doing personal coaches,
Yeah. Makes no sense.
It makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
If they are building a YouTube channel for doing anything,
Hmm.
brand का कोई sense नहीं बनता वहाँ पे. So I simply said, hey, you should be doing IP, and second, you should be doing middle funnel. Let your brand page consider your YouTube page as FAQ. Let's just see what are the brand search terms that people are typing for. Okay,
Right.
What is an exit rate of your company? How many complaints? Let's just address everything so that I'm just sitting in the middle funnel and let the top funnel be solved by IP building. That's it. Nothing else. Now, is it me selling YouTube? Absolutely yes, but there is some logic and rationale to it. So I just stand for that.
Right.
I'm not selling IP building as a service.
Right.
I don't believe in that at all.
No, I agree with that. I think
Even
it's
if I come from that industry, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, that. Yeah, I think this is the.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to just create services
Services
for the sake of it,
Yeah.
and then they turn into
But
problems.
it is good for us for all
Yeah,
of these
yeah, of
reasons,
course.
because you can build a supply chain, put it on an assembly line, make profits.
Yeah.
Towards that, it makes no sense. Maybe I'm a bad business person because again, I moved from CMO to a CEO. Hence, my CEO side said this is right. But I have always fundamentally believed in one thing, that if a founder trusts me as a CMO, I'll get the deal anyhow. If I'm selling wrong stuff, I know somewhere or somehow it will bite me.
Yeah.
I'm not able to come out of that shoe. I don't know if it is wrong or right.
No, I think it's right, because I think it's good to have long-term vision.
Yeah,
It's
so
hard
I'm
to,
just optimizing for that.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
and people who want to work with you long-term will respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this again depends, like you said, depends on, we spoke about last time you were here as well, which is who are you speaking to?
Who are you speaking to? Exactly.
Matters there.
Yeah.
I think makes a change there.
Yeah.
Anyway, coming from YouTube, I think the now obviously AI has changed a lot of the creation process for a lot of us. Personal brands especially using it like there's no holes barred, right?
Yeah.
You to the point where YouTube, I think, put out something saying that if it's a AI based content, they're gonna
They will not monetize.
they will
They will not
monetize,
monetize
etc.
it.
Right?
I think you remember when we did that
Yeah.
UBC, we were having this chat and I said, okay, there will be a time where the tabs will be separate.
Yeah.
100% it makes no sense.
Correct.
It's going to happen very
Right?
soon.
But the question is, if today you are creating content like any of the creators, like I say, Varun Maya, who's now propagated this use of
Agent.
AI, right? Agent,
Agent,
yeah.
yeah.
And he's not the only one. There are a lot of other people who are using it
CCTV is
as
also
well.
doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And I think he put something out recently on LinkedIn showing how he went from
He hit a
200K
million
to
now,
a
yeah.
million
Hit a
now,
million now.
Yeah.
right? In less
Just
than
by
a
that.
year, just by that, right? And it makes sense, to be honest. But if today someone is starting that out, what's the recommendation to a creator? Could be brand side, otherwise a personal brand, someone who's accomplished in business world, creating content for them,
Personal
or
brand,
or
Yeah.
even someone who's just a creator starting out, right? Are you for them leveraging all things on AI and doubling down, or does it make sense to still create natively the way traditional creators have? Traditional
Shooting
creators, that's a
everything,
new
yeah.
term now,
Yeah.
right? But the way they did it in the last decade, probably before AI.
I can tell you what I am doing. Because I can be only honest with myself by saying that. And I'm doing exactly what I genuinely believe in. And these are compartments and these are tricky areas. Your LinkedIn should be, okay, let me just compartmentalize this. So there is something called content creation, there is something called content curation.
Yeah.
What Webhub started doing since last 1 year is curation.
Curation, yeah. News,
What
yeah.
is news primarily.
Yeah.
What Varun started doing.
On that, I have one small
Yeah.
question. Sorry to interrupt. Why do people do that? Because I have because are you trying to become the new Arnab Goswami? Because I know it works. It
Yeah.
penetrates through the
Impressions.
clutter,
You just-
but
Yeah.
exactly right. But it's a fundamental flaw for me when I wear my branding
I
hat,
understood what you're
because there is no brand there. Because you are just...
But it's
100%.
association though, right? To some degree.
No.
Sure, but why?
I agree with him.
See, the same thing, right? Arnab Goswami associates with any topic, especially if it has got to do with being pro-India or show a layer of patriotism. Another network would probably look at it from an investigative standpoint to say, hey, something is here, but something is going wrong. So they all pick and choose within journalism, right? My problem to a large extent, when I look at Sisinti's content, even Varun Maya and a few others who are wanting to be these guys, there's no differentiation. They are all talking in different ways. I think that's the differentiation.
And editing styles and all.
But more and more people are coming into it. Is it because, again, on these platforms, whether AI or not, everyone's picking one or two creators and then choosing to consume the information from them? Is that the key?
I mean, you trust these people more. Like say Sisinti and Varun Maya, you associate them with AI. So when you spoke about curation, they're still curating about everything AI. Right. And I'll tell you, like you were asking about like HeyGen, right? Like about AI avatars. Like Varun Maya spoke about in this thing also, you're able to churn out a video in like say 30 minutes of the news going live. Let's say even I think next September there'll be the Apple.
Every time the Apple event goes live.
No, that I get, right?
So that is one thing which AI enables. But to your question of like if a new person is starting, you should still do it yourself initially. Because I think like the personal part of the personal brand should not go away.
Right.
So like the Sisinti is using as a multiplier, which is cool. But still, there are still some reels where it's very much him talking to the camera and everything. Just that, let's say he's posting 20 times a week. Maybe 10, 15 times AI, but at least there's 5 of still him,
Right.
But he's reached that level of scale in this thing.
Right.
I don't think AI or non-AI makes any sense or not, but I'll just try to answer what my views are in a slightly nuanced way. What exactly, as you said, like they're not talking about 5 different topics. It's still AI, so your recall is there. That is first. My LinkedIn is written by me. My Twitter is... So I'm doing something with agentic. So my replies are agentic on Twitter. I'm going to fully deploy multi-agentic on Twitter this week. So I'm not going to touch at all. So research, reply, who to reply, everything is automated. I'm not going to do that on LinkedIn. On Insta, my script generation, topic generation is automated. I have built my own custom GPT. I have not put agentic there, but I will be deploying agentic only to send me a WhatsApp message that, hey, your script is ready. But shoot, I will do. YouTube, my thumbnails are using GPT. My captions are from captions.ai. I use Opus. That's all. So anyone who is building new has to use... If you're using these as a workflow, that is fine. Not as a end product generation. So that's just...
it can't be the only thing you do. Then it's not going to work.
Fair. Got it. Another trend that's been on the rise, and I'm really observing it very closely, is surrogate marketing pages for brands. Why is this a trend? And where is it headed?
Are you bullish on that?
We are building a lot of surrogate pages,
Why are you building it?
So... I mean, I think we should explain what a surrogate page is also to start with.
You should do it.
I mean, I think with the surrogate page, the idea is that, let's say every brand has a brand page on Instagram, right? One thing that's there is that in a brand page, it's again, sometimes it's more like formal corporate brand guidelines are like have to be 100% aligned. It's very restricted what you can do there marketing wise. But I think with most brands, they cannot be social. Like they can't be very Instagram first. So that's when this whole idea of a surrogate page is there, where let's create this alternative page. Some do it co-branded, right? Say example, it is WhatsApp 10 by Rento Mojo. So that's very co-branded upfront. Some people don't brand it at all, where they just like, it's just owned by them, but it's like something that's not public at all, which nobody will be able to understand. So that's the idea of a surrogate page. And I think a surrogate page, they rely purely on organic to get distribution. With most brands, let's say...
What will you do with that distribution?
So I think the thing is, it's about getting attention oneness and then funneling it into something that you need for as a brand. So, but I'll tell you one thing with surrogate pages, what we're building also, we don't build a surrogate page just to live on short form. Even the idea is to build a surrogate page that drives traffic towards the long form videos on YouTube. So for us, it's then part of the overall strategy.
So let's say you built a short form, converted that into a long form. Then, like, how is it then?
So it's more the distribution channel to get attention towards the longer form on YouTube. So YouTube is, let's say, where the IP will ultimately mainly sit. The surrogate page is more to get attention towards YouTube. Consider like the top of funnel to push the attention over there.
Okay. I have a different theory that this theory is good for... No, I don't agree with this theory. I have a very different theory. So when I started, I think when I started, I was having exactly this theory. But then when I started getting tougher questions from founders that okay, you are doing so. Like for an example, this surrogate we started 1 year back with Acco. Simple reason, problem statement. People don't want to listen to content or subscribe from the brand who is selling me that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's as simple insight as that. And specifically in finance category, okay, ठीक है. Insurance बेचने वाला content बोलेगा कि वो मैं अच्छा हूँ, नहीं चलेगा.
Yeah.
So exactly what we are having the chat, which is trust based. So the theory that we said is we started doing a channel positioning exercise. Exactly how you do a brand positioning exercise.
Right.
And what we realize is the larger TAM, which is insurance ka key motive is what? People should live longer. If people live longer, I will pass my maturity stage. If I pass my maturity stage, there is no claim ratio. If there is no claim ratio, I'm happy as a insurance company. That was a larger umbrella.
Yeah.
Now with that larger umbrella, I said, okay, I need to have a channel which allows people or which educates people to live longer. Now then we said, okay, theek hai. How can people live longer? There are 4 pillars. Your wealth needs to be sorted. Your health needs to be sorted. Your spiritual needs to be sorted, and then there are windfalls.
Right.
Windfalls, divorce ho gaya, kya kare?
Yeah.
Ancestral property, what to do? And then we said, okay, theek hai, my surrogate channel, which is called the 100-Year Life Project by Acco, it is called right now, will sit under that.
Yeah.
That's how the process also started. I think you can track the process, not a big deal. Now here comes the main part. I'm very, very clear about one agenda at this point of time. I don't know, after 5 months, maybe my playbook is different. I generate top line impression with this. That impression gets logged in the custom audience. This custom audience is going to the perf team. The perf team is doing retargeting. That is very, very clear.
Okay.
So with that framework, then if I have to build a surrogate page for an Instagram, at this point of time, my theory now then says, I'll do some influencer. I need the bloody custom audience. I will do my Instagram. I need the custom audience. So here is the main game. Performance marketing, TOF, MOF, which is a retargeting. TOF CPM is supposed to go up.
Yeah.
MO, and here is the funny fact. No one tracks MOF
CPM.
Right.
CPM. If you put that into a graph, you will see this MOF CPM is even exponential.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
obviously,
this is only to solve this exponential curve to be slightly lesser.
Got it. So, but this is, I'm assuming most brands, at least brand-sided marketers who are solving for brand in general, aren't that obsessive with data. So they're not. So they're going with the gut and hunch and saying, oh, I think we should just do this for X and Y reasons, right?
Correct.
But it is growing as a trend. I have my own theories on this in terms of for who it works and doesn't.
Yeah.
The theory of the principle of surrogate marketing works. I think it's been done by alcohol, tobacco brands for the longest time, and to some extent or the other, it works.
Correct.
In digital age where you don't need to do surrogate, you do it probably for some reason, right? Like we're talking about Akshay Kalpa and the good food movement. I understand.
When the mission is attached.
Yeah, when the mission is so strong where you want to fix food habits, then that becomes a parallel initiative apart from the commercial side of the business. And then you want to manage to, yes, it becomes hard, then you create. But that's also like maybe a modern day way of saying CSR, right?
Yeah.
How would you position that? To me, it looks that way. So when you have multiple agendas there and then you want to cater to both, it probably works. I've realized that for us as an agency, for example, if you want to ever do this, the only reason we would do it is for the sense of aesthetic. For example, if you want to do content that is educational in nature, for example, or entertaining, and want to flex your creative muscles, but then you want to keep that separate from what is core of your business, which is essentially solving things for brands, for example, problems, right? You probably want to separate the two. And you probably have different channels because today, Instagram for a lot of our brands like us is becoming a matter of aesthetics, which is a reflection of your website, for example. You'll have less clutter there.
Right.
But something like this could be a different section within the website, like a community section or so, where you're doing more content that is for your audience at large and not customers.
Right.
And I think the distinction between audience and customers coming.
Yeah.
And I think that's where this trend somewhere, as an
Right.
intent is coming through, right?
Yeah.
But what I don't understand yet is how successfully are brands able to tie this back to the primary
It's
brand.
hard. It's hard. The only two attribution mechanism I have realized right now, until now, is again it depends on stage to stage. Like a large company with a large offline network, नहीं चाहिए उसको, जबरदस्ती है उसपे. unless and until it wants to open markets into Gen Z.
Yeah.
So either you are opening up a market with a TG, that TG is sitting in one particular territory where you have no presence.
Yeah.
Do that. Like again, for example, YouTube Shorts specifically is the only platform that invades tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, tier 6. Primarily, let's say. So
there's a tier 6.
I'm just saying, okay,
something I missed. When did this happen?
Just to increase the
Whitefield is tier 6.
Yeah.
Right.
Whitefield.
Yeah.
So just to emphasize on that fact, okay, the deeper the roots is, the only platform that you have is YouTube Shorts. Now here is an interesting fact or the movement that we are noticing. If you check on perf conversion window, कि okay कितने time बाद ad देखने के बाद the person converted, what we are starting to notice is, okay, if the frequency is high, the conversion is happening at the third or the fourth funnel, and this was not happening before, which is ad blindness, ad fatigue and all.
Yeah.
This is supposed to go higher and higher, what I'm noticing. In some brands, presence is solving that. Now you can debate, for an example, ki why shouldn't I do influencer? Absolutely. I have always realized if custom, either it should solve custom audience or it should solve my YouTube brand search volume going up.
Yeah.
Like I was doing an experiment this Wakefit when we started. The most interesting eye opener for me. The brand came to me with a challenge by saying that I want to increase my brand search volume in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, specific.
Right.
And we said we will do 100 to 200 vernacular influencers bombarding at the same time, plus perf ka we created a playbook as a combination. It increased brand search by 250+% in the first month.
Right.
Now, and they were doing David Warner, by the way, just one. And then we checked, okay, what is happening with the brand search volume? There is no. So I have seen brand search volumes going up.
Right.
Yeah.
The moment you put vidIQ and simply see, okay, what is the search volume on YouTube? That gets impacted. I have seen this happening with a company like an Acco Drive, where a person checks out new car review and then only goes and buy. It makes absolute sense for them to have a channel.
Yeah.
YouTube. Their channel is, I think, 300K because they are fighting with the Zig wheels and all stuff.
Right.
So it depends on a lot of stage, company and all. A finance company needs to do that because they have to open up market. So this education is only exists because of category creation. Because someone has to put in the money. So either you take an Amitabh Bachchan, but that category creation is not working anymore.
Right.
Okay, a larger celebrity is not opening up new category. So yeah, if you have clarity, then it's easy. But I think there is some merit in custom audience or brand activation or search volume. This brand track. Nothing is happening in brand track.
So at what do you know any brand that tried it and killed it as a practice? They tried to create surrogate and they said, screw it, we're not going ahead with this, not making sense. Anyone? I think it's too early, right? People have just started.
It's too early to say that. Yeah.
But at what point do they then take that call? Because
so it's been 1.2 years for me with Acco. 100-year live project, not killed. Conviction is even stronger. For one point of view, we generate 3 million impressions. 4 million impressions every month.
Right.
Cost of production is nothing.
Yeah.
Now when I put that into my media mix and say Acco logo dikhane ke liye to 5 million people, what is my cost? And if I have to do the same thing on perf, billboard and what?
Yeah.
It makes sense. So, and this is a new realization. This is a new realization since last 2 months that hey, what if I stop chasing that vanity metric of followers, just screw it. Let me see how many top line impression and how many people are seeing my logo. Yeah. Because YouTube is a property. Okay, here is the main fact. On Instagram, you will scroll.
Yeah.
You probably might not have checked the name of that handle because the name of the handle is written in white and there is a very high possibility your what do I say? Your canvas. Your canvas is also white in color. But on YouTube, it's separate. YouTube, you have a logo. You have niche, you have upar, there's a 3-tier reinforcement happening. So I would, plus YouTube counts your views 20 seconds, Instagram is 3 seconds.
Right.
So a lot of nuance are here. I would any day put my money there versus Instagram.
Yeah.
Right. Makes
So,
sense.
but what is the ROI for Acco Drive in terms of like building a surrogate page then? Is it like, apart from the custom audience, is the same thing, like the cost benefit to get 4 million impressions a month is way cheaper than per.
Custom ideas, honestly, admitting custom audience theory, I have not yet proven myself on either the brand. Impression theory, done. It's working.
Yeah.
In terms of any other media. Third is the association.
Yeah.
Is the fact that, hey, I'm the only insurance company that is not talking about insurance, which is a mission part we were talking
Exactly,
about.
yeah.
I genuinely want you to live longer. I'm the only company who is talking about divorce होगा तो क्या करना चाहिए. I'm the only company who is talking about if you get a ancestral health तो क्या करना चाहिए. So this underdog territory जिस पे कोई content नहीं बना रहा है.
Yeah.
I'm catering that. So I suddenly become the highest.
So that's the branding basically then, yeah.
That's the branding.
Yeah.
That's
Branding is association. They are associating with these topics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But
so, sorry.
I was going to ask a question, which is, what are you guys' opinion on views maxing? It's a very Gen Z word, but yeah.
Explain.
Yeah.
I mean, views maxing is basically.
Who is giving you these words? These are.
He's Gen Z.
I'm technically Gen Z.
You are
like-
generating this word. You are putting
No,
them
it's not my
into your
word.
deck.
And he's
Like,
saying he's Gen Z.
I'll give you an example. Have you guys seen Cluely?
Yeah.
You would have maybe stumbled
I
upon.
know,
You don't know about Cluely?
I love that company. I love the founder.
Dude, Cluely is absolutely views maxing. So I'll tell you what Cluely is to start us, right?
Controversy as a.
Dude,
marketing
like
playbook.
Roy, who's the founder, he says he's views maxing. Like
Yeah.
he's like controversy because it gets impressions. I'll give you like more context. Cluely is kind of an app that you can install, I think, on your MacBook. Fundamentally, let's say you're in a Zoom call, Google Meet. It's there as an assistant on the top. So, for example, let's say, so it came as an interview cheating app. Let's say we're doing like a technical interview on Amazon. You're asking me like, how do you write dash code? And
It'll
I don't
give
know
you the
shit.
answers.
It'll give you the answer, and I'll just read the answer out loud. That was the tool. That's the product, and it's just vibe coded, by the way. You can go today on Rapid and build it. The thing is, what they realize is that there are 100 competitors also who are arguably better than them.
Right.
The guy, the founder, is 21 years old.
Right.
He's like a Harvard dropout. I mean, not dropout. He got kicked out of Harvard. That's a different story. What he was
Because
like
he was doing some fraud with this.
with this thing. Yeah. So
Great
even-
minds drop out of Harvard, I guess.
Wow.
A lot of
So
them.
the funny thing is, his parents have a prep business where they prep you to get into Harvard and Ivy League. So for them, this was the poster child. My son got into Harvard, so that's the lead magnet to get other parents, right? And his son got kicked out.
Right.
That's a different conversation. So this guy said, which I agree with a lot degrees, the product and the features and stuff will be very commoditized very soon.
Yeah.
Let's say with anybody can go and say build a clone of Cluely, you can do that.
Yeah.
What you can never commoditize is the distribution.
Is the
So he was like, I'm going to views max, which is he has a KPI in his PNL, which is how many views I get in a month.
Right.
And his target is like 100 million a month.
Right.
So what he did was he's super controversial.
He has 100 or 200 pages that are built
on
by
his-
agents.
So I'll tell you, like, there's multiple stuff, dude. So for example, his page, like, everything is a spectacle. So for example, he was hiring 50 interns. It was done with like a campaign for him. Like, we are hiring 50 interns at Cluely. It went super viral on Twitter. He has 50 content creators in payroll in the company who just create content. I'll give you like a crazy example, okay? There's this great reel that's super viral format. They've rinsed and repeated it, which is a guy and a girl are talking, like this long distance thing, right? And then the guy is like showing the girl a Ronaldo highlight. And like, this is like a Madrid Ronaldo, right? Him doing Ronaldo chops on the wing and stuff like that. Showing to the girl. And then he's like, dude, Ronaldo back in the day was the best. And the girl uses Cluely and it goes like, oh man, Ronaldo was crazy. I miss Ronaldo and Benzema's link up.
Right.
And the girl is saying that you can tell the girl has never seen football in her life. The thing is they understand social what to do well. Let's say you would watch this piece of content, right? Because you're in the TG. They count that as a view for Cluely because they've shown the product. They never say powered by Cluely, nothing as well. But the thing is, they're getting impressions with the TG, which is, let's say, super broad over here. But they build a huge brand out of it.
Right.
Cluely, I don't know what the thing is, but if you see the new AI vibe coded things, that's a playbook.
So-
Cal AI also.
Yeah, so views maxing is just that.
Get like 200 million impressions a month.
Yeah, but it's not a new concept, right?
No, I was doing.
Yeah, this
1200
existed 10 years ago. It just wasn't called views maxing.
Yeah, it's
which
the
is
Gen Z way.
finding a good integration of your product into the narrative of the
In
whatever
just this
story.
thing. But without you don't have to brand it.
But this
also,
is
yeah.
what TVCs are built on.
Exactly. So, but that's what surrogate pages can do. If you're trying to views max.
Okay,
yeah.
great. So fine, understood. If you don't want to spam your primary audience
through your own name.
Yeah, through your own
You
name.
do through 50 other pages,
50
yeah.
other pages. Got it.
Yeah.
Fair. Makes sense. Right? Again, I think somewhere close to the principles of what surrogate marketing is.
Yeah.
But if you are creating large amounts of content and then if you're spending so much money also behind it, then is that when you can sort of use those resources to create content on your primary brand pages and account, then does that make sense? That's the question, right?
But I think in the surrogate page, it'll go a longer way than the main page.
So,
I think like WhatsApp tenant will always grow faster than random emojis.
But then would you get more intent on the other one?
No.
So on the brand page, you're getting more relevance and intent.
Yeah.
Rather than on the
this is what
surrogate.
I was talking about at TOF and MF, right? Like brand pages should be product pages. You talk about your product. Don't care about your views and all. Let that be a middle funnel. That my surrogate page is doing the top funnel, and let's say if you're having 10 surrogate pages or whatever, MCNs or whatever you want to do, people will come and check your brand page. But when they check, they should be absolutely clear what you sell. Because your top of the funnel will not be able to solve what you sell. So that should do that job. And once that does that job, everything else is sorted. I think that clarity should be absolutely there.
Got it.
So every time that I am having a chat with the brand, that I'm saying, okay, let your page be a product page. Do great content on product. Even if it is B2B, you do B2C, the principles stay the same. You create a surrogate page for top line. You do influencers for top line. Do not do heavy sales product integration on the influencer part. Let that MOF do that. And there are ways to do that. So there are very interesting ways. For an example, I'll give you a very small idea. If an influencer is creating a great viral content which has only 3 seconds product integration, you create a reaction video of that same content of a heavy product integration, but put that on your brand page. It's a very simple idea, but so easily I call it syndication.
Right.
I think this is where a lot of thought and effort has not been put because technically content strategy was always on top funnel. It's just recently we have started thinking, okay, there is a middle funnel mein alag hona chahiye. Yahan pe product integration, it should be 6 seconder, here it should be 12 seconder.
But is this happening because there's clutter? Too much content and clutter?
It's just happening because of clutter.
If there wasn't clutter, you didn't need to do this, right?
Yeah.
So then my question is, in 10 years when there's a lot more clutter, what happens? Then do we start breaking down product feature by feature and then creating pages?
No, I think then you will have ditto movement.
What is that?
When a lot of telecalling insurance happened, Ditto came out and said, I will not call anyone.
That's the USP.
That's the USP. So I will not show my logo at all. Maybe, you don't know. You never know. But I am a big believer. I think we are so heavily ad blinded. It's gonna happen. Yeah.
But like, okay, an interesting use case is, right, like there are a million sunscreen brands in India today.
Like, for example, sorry just to cut you off, I'm just thinking, I just got a chain of thought that when ChatGPT exists, why do I need brand? I'm just trying to think. Because ChatGPT also solves my top of funnel. Because if I can type, tell me top 5 coffee.
And if you have enough PR articles that says that you are on the top 5.
Right. Then the only job of my brand is not to talk about my brand in the advertising. It is to talk about the category.
Exactly, yeah.
So that I push ChatGPT. Wahan pe. It makes no sense. I can't imagine why do we need because right now the funnel is what? You see an ad on social, but then you go to a Google. If this is gone, Perplexity and ChatGPT are doing both of the stuff.
True. This is a very interesting insight. I didn't think of this before you said this. PR is relevant again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Digital PR, yeah.
Traditional too, maybe.
Because
now everything traditional also gets
I don't know the nitty-gritties. I'll tell you, have you guys used ChatGPT 5 extensively?
Not extensively, but you have.
There are 2 interesting which scared me. There are 2 interesting moments that happened. Number 1, I was in a Delhi conference mein gaya tha. There's a brand who mentioned something and I had no idea about this. ChatGPT has opened up the APIs to integrate from the brand directly. So that every time a brand is launching a new catalog, it is here. And they're asking money for it.
Wow.
And I was like, hey, this is an interesting door opening of listing. So GPT SEO as a service or whatever, I don't know. I was looking for sari and I opened ChatGPT 5. It shows me 5 listings. And then I click on that. It opens a microsite. It is not taking me to Google Chrome. It opens a microsite, but then something interesting happens. Under the microsite, there is a button written called response or something, which is, so let's say if the sari had a certain color or something, I can type, hey, I'm not liking this color. Can you please show me something in yellow color? And it scans that. It then jumps to another website and it shows me. Now, this is looking to me like in Myntra, if I had to do the same thing, I had to put filters. And every time
So
I had
much
to change
effort,
filters.
yeah.
So much effort.
Yeah.
Why the hell I need a website? And I was just thinking, is my GA4 recording this?
No chance.
No chance.
GA4, yeah.
So I'm losing
Right.
out on
Yeah.
that. So they will then put a extra tag that websites will do. But it's interesting. It's an interesting
Absolutely.
world.
Yeah, makes sense. But I'm still not convinced on the investment part though.
Yeah.
I just feel it's only for the brands who out there have extra money sitting in the budget that today they're not deploying. And I think maybe some of it is coming out from traditional TVCs
It is
and
coming
others.
out from TVCs only.
To be honest, one good campaign's TVC budget is actually enough
Yeah.
to run 1 year of surrogate content.
Yeah.
I think the price points sort of will work out.
Absolutely.
Actually, even less than that, I feel.
Even less
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
And I think the TVC is not making sense anymore because people are forgetting it. There are very, very few TVCs that you will
But that's
remember.
also because a lot of bad creative narratives are getting
Exactly.
made, right? It's the
Yeah,
same thing
exactly.
as what's happening in Bollywood and movies.
Exactly.
A lot of weak storytelling is basically pumped back with a lot of budgets.
True.
Yeah.
And then they get made.
True.
And then it just doesn't make sense.
True.
And and there's the other issue again, supply and demand problem, right?
Yeah.
Which is not enough talent on the other side
On the other
that's
side. Yeah.
able to sort of work with creatives in general, agency or otherwise, and then make. So that's why there are a few champions. If you look at the market today, and if you open and say who are the guys who are doing good TVCs, you will probably name 10 brands or 10 agencies or 10 production houses equivalent, and that's all that there is.
Also, this problem of people complaining that okay, no one remembers TVC. It's an easy solve, but no one is putting enough thought. I think the people like, let's say you create a great TVC, and if you have a YouTube channel, just make a 20 reaction videos on top of it. Now, this is the least.
It's the amplification.
Yeah.
part,
It's the amplification
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
I think
I think tying, we were talking about this
Yeah.
offline as well, which is tying in your traditional storytelling to new age and
To new
yeah,
age,
like
basically.
that's actually not that hard.
Yeah.
But then I feel that the skill sets as required to do TVC versus the ones who do digital distribution is so wide
Yeah.
away. There aren't enough places in the world today that, at least in our country, that houses that talent inside one agency or one or brand or whatever it is, right? And as a result, you don't have enough proof of concept for it.
yeah.
But that's I think I think this is what will happen
this will
over the
happen.
next
This
5
will
years,
happen.
10 years.
My bet is towards that. I'm
Yeah.
trying to build that. It's hard. It's very, very hard. I have that Gen Z versus Boomer issue.
Wow.
That okay, which
I've empathized 100%, not on the Gen Z boomer,
Yeah.
but generally on the art and math thing,
on the art and
which
math.
is our
Yeah.
DNA,
Yeah.
right? But it's very hard to get
It's
people
very
on
hard.
both
It's
sides
very
who
hard.
understand it.
It's
Yeah.
very hard.
I
think every quarter
but it's
there has
doable.
been a relation.
It's very doable.
It's
because
doable.
I just spoke to our former head of creative. He's now on the brand side, and we were talking about something, and he opened up his marketing, some plan, something he had to show me, and he was operating on Excel. This is a hard trained creative writer who spent a decade plus in mainland advertising, like top 5 agencies in the country, through and through writer, who's now made color coded columns on Excel sheet, and he's taking me through an annual plan, and I'm like, my god, the world.
You just need to find those talent.
Yeah, but I think it will happen.
It will happen.
No, the thing is, he didn't do that when he was here, because I think in an environment where it's largely one side of the brain, you still get away with not doing it, but you don't have a choice. You'll have to slowly get that up, and I think now I'm seeing a lot of creative minds who are balanced on both sides, and I think you need equal mentoring and training for them to enhance their skills. But I think the next wave of creatives are going to be
Is going to be this. AI will force you.
or marketers rather.
Within this thing,
AI will force you to move towards that side.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I have a question for the brand side people. I mean, not brand side people, but
Brand
like,
managers.
no, leave brand managers, like brands in general in India especially, right? Like, do you guys know about Red Ocean? Right. So, I mean, I think one thing with where things are going the direction is I think everything will almost be a Red Ocean. Right? Like, you guys agree fundamentally? Let's say, I'll just give an example of the personal care category in India.
Right.
Like, the last thing I need is another skincare brand.
Mm.
Selling me a BOGO offer on Instagram.
Yeah.
Right? So, now if you are a skincare brand, what do you do? How do you win in marketing?
So, when I was doing my MBA, I'm pretty sure when he was doing his MBA, the market was very simple that, okay, there is a red ocean, there is a blue ocean.
Yeah.
Markets have now slightly changed. I mean, if I can do mental masturbation and say, okay, there is a pink ocean, this, that doesn't make any sense. But simplified. Before, I think in the early 2000s and 2010 as well, the thought was ki, okay, if you are in a red ocean, put a lot of efforts in your product. Differentiation is a product.
Yeah.
Markets have moved towards a different thing. Like, the only difference between Swiggy and Zomato
Hmm.
is the packaging and the branding.
Yeah.
It's the marketing difference.
Exactly,
Right?
yeah.
The only difference between your Zepto and a Blinkit is the marketing game.
Yellow and
whatever.
purple, yeah.
There's yellow and purple was played. So suddenly we are into those old days where there is a product differentiation, there is a marketing differentiation, there is a sales team differentiation. Like for example, Ditto I think is a very beautiful area where if someone comes and says that, hey, I will not call you,
Yeah.
is a differentiation and suddenly it's a moat.
Hmm.
Will you call that red ocean, blue ocean?
I think it's a
But is that not copyable though?
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
But then you'll always be the first who did it.
Yeah, you'll
Huh.
always be the
If it
first
is
to do
truly that strong, right?
Yeah.
A bit like what Whole Truth is doing today.
a bit like what
Yeah.
Warrior is
And,
doing,
and,
for
and but
example.
then that's a foundational layer on the back of which you build other principles
Yeah.
and other differentiation
Yeah.
forms.
So I feel the new age CMOs will start thinking like CMOs were never trained to be visionaries of building defensibility mode.
Yeah.
Because that was always sitting with the founders because they were not visionaries. The
Yeah.
CMOs were like, what, I have a PNL for 1 year, sales deploy करना है, I want to win awards, 4-5
Yeah.
होते थे. Okay, award कौन सा जीतूं, PNL कैसे handle करूं, and how do I get a promotion?
Yeah.
Max to max these three. There is a new layer of defensibility mode that is happening. So I think marketing will move towards that direction where they are also moving like that, where your packaging is a big difference, your sales team is a big difference, where you talk copywriting. Zomato just writing good copy is a differentiator.
It stands out, yeah.
It just stands out. Is a differentiation mode because again, exactly as you said, product building has become commoditized.
Yeah.
I never thought in my wildest dream product building will be commoditized.
That is the case now, yeah.
That
So
is
only
the case
marketing
now.
is the only technically as distribution is the mode.
Like
Yeah.
factories,
Yeah.
contract manufacturing is easy, and hence
Yeah.
your skincares are
All the same.
Yeah.
I was going to come to this. I worked on a skincare
Yeah.
brand creation recently, and what I realized is most of them in the market are coming because they see an opportunity, they want to make money, not
Yeah.
because they want to create a great product.
Where's the money?
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Let's not ask
Let
those
me know if you
questions
find it.
too
yeah.
early.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not asking this question.
Yeah.
I love brands. Brands should work with me.
Yeah,
Wow,
right.
okay.
I mean, that's for them to figure. But I remember that they were going to a contract manufacturer which was already servicing 3 brands in the market.
In the market, say.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, so where would you find a differentiation? There wouldn't be,
Yeah.
and that's the huge problem because if you're obsessed on creating a good product, I think that's a blue ocean, right?
Yeah.
And to be honest,
There are very few people who are obsessed
Who
with
are
it.
Yeah.
really obsessed, yeah.
if you don't
Especially
have,
in India.
yeah, and if you don't have the skill to make a great product, then I think you should understand, be self-aware of it as a founder and entrepreneur,
100%,
Yeah.
and then choose the
100%.
the other red
Yeah.
ocean landscape, and then build for that. I feel that if you're in the red ocean, you have to accept the fact that it's very hard for you to be the top 2-3 brands in the market.
Yeah.
See,
Very
but if
hard.
you're in a red ocean, right, you can only do 2 things. Either you can win on price, which is a losing game, because you'll put your price all the way down where you make nothing. That's, I would argue, most personal care brands today. Or you have to win on marketing. You have to win on branding. You have to win on packaging. Let's say, even in that, let's say, hair care market, right, Traya still stands out.
But what would you do in that, right? That's the thing. Like, so I'll tell you the problem with that. Like, this is that famous branding quote, which is you can either be better or you can be different. There's no other option,
Yeah.
right? So you'll have to, I don't think you can be better because if you're
Better's
better, you're
product.
blue
You just
ocean.
have to be different.
Right?
Yeah. Better is product.
So you have to be different.
Yeah.
And then you have to create. And then obviously
Yeah.
that's a marketing game and a lot of them do it.
positioning, yeah.
But again, I don't think in our country everyone has that skill.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
feeling.
And if you are optimizing for being different, the CMO should not have the burden of owning sales. Because
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
you are giving a bad product to sale. And
Yeah.
now I'm tying back to what exactly you were saying on views maximization. And here is where the surrogate. I think surrogate and views maximization or whatever you do makes absolute sense when you're optimizing for being different.
Exactly, yeah.
If you are optimizing for being better save that money, put it into R&D.
Yeah.
So I think this call needs to be taken by the CEO.
Yeah.
And be very upfront about it. Like if you are doing contract manufacturing, put money into marketing. If you're not doing contract manufacturing, put money into your R&D. It's as simple as that. If I have to simplify and dumb version of putting where your money is,
Yeah.
that could be one of the ways. But it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard because differentiation is not easy. It's not
Yeah.
easy. It's not easy. It's not that, okay, you can... Not all marketing folks are original thinkers.
Yeah.
Philosophers are... That's why
Yeah.
you can get a top shot of any legacy doesn't mean that he will have the vision to. That's why not all CMOs are CEOs. That's why not all CEOs are CMOs.
Yeah.
And I don't know personally how to find out a visionary person as a hire. I don't know. I know how to find good operators.
Yeah.
I think Kunal Shah does a great job in this as a hire. Like his all top lines are.
Yeah, I've heard from people who work there that he does a good job at it.
It's a like when I was hiring legacy folks, I was also first time trying to seek, okay, how do I convince people who are 10 years more elder to me? And yes, you have a founder conviction which is okay, passion, ye wo. But if you ask me right now, maybe the answer is different after 1 year. It's a skill and art of selling an idea to a big person to join you, and the same goes for the exact same goes for brands as well, to find out narratives. That okay, it could be a small person, it could be a big person, doesn't matter. The narrative is finally sitting with the CEO. If he can't solve it, a CMO can't solve it, I feel. Have you ever seen a CMO solving a narrative for a brand if the founder is clueless? Like I have in my limited experience.
If the founder is accepting that that's not for him, her to solve, and then hands over the responsibility and empowers
very few founders.
Yeah, very few. I think this is a very interesting thing you said. I think too many people today, I feel on LinkedIn, for example, just think that they're Steve Jobs.
True.
Maybe they're not. True. Like it's not for everybody, right? I think it's a very like it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Tell me more about this Steve Jobs syndrome. Autocratic.
No, they think that they have to own marketing for their brand. They don't. It's not a skill that everybody has.
It's happening a lot, right? It's happening a lot.
It happens. I don't know. I think not just him, but I feel there are a lot of other modern day examples where the CEOs are the face of the brand, right?
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
I don't think that's a good idea.
It's not. I think it depends on the skill. Like how many do you know? Like for example, Shashank from Whole Truth. We keep going back to this. He's somewhere done it, but I also feel he probably at that time and place was the best option that they had and could afford, right? And that's why they went with him. But if you were to scale that, and if you were starting off with a larger operation and larger funds for that matter, and a decentralized team, he probably wouldn't have been the guy to do it.
But also, let's just hold on to that thought. I have heard this theory enough number of times, and one thing I don't wrap up in my head is people are not buying Whole Truth because of Shashank.
Yeah, of course not. It's for the product.
It's for the product.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now this Shashank being the face is only in the Bangalore circuit. People who
in the startup world.
So it's an employer branding signaling, not the FMCG.
Sure.
That's it. And we just think that this playbook is working, and hence we should deploy our founder as well.
Yeah.
So I think the nuance of the difference that okay, is my product actually selling it for the founder? And apart from Steve Jobs, because again, back in those days,
nobody has a successful
success story who can show me in brand attribution that okay, my product is getting sold because of the founder, except agency. Agencies are the
even for Steve Jobs,
Elon
right? Elon is another example. Sorry, that's the one I was trying to think of, right? But Elon, I feel, is a very PR-driven strategy.
But Elon is solving top line. You are not buying Tesla for Elon. You are buying Tesla for a good product.
Yeah.
Elon solves the top line.
But many people are buying it for
but
Elon.
I also think that unless you're a head of product, you can't solve for that anymore.
You can't solve for that.
So you can only do top line. So I think theoretically that works. See, Elon is a very PR-driven top line. Same like Dipinder Goyal, I feel. Right? It's stories, you're in the news, you're doing crazy things, you're doing experiments, you're doing radical.
Everyone else is doing.
Very contrarian, radical activities that spill over into the corporate circle, and it's only in the corporate circle. I don't know how much of Dipinder Goyal has spilled over into the mass consumer.
But no one is.
Like if you go and ask my parents, for example, who use it, they wouldn't know. But they'll know Elon Musk. But that's a scale difference, right? They'll know Steve Jobs. Again, it's a different, realm or area of operation. But this obsession has come of late that they need to put their hands and legs into everything, especially into marketing. And which is why you see a lot more founders talking about their marketing campaigns that did. But that's a LinkedIn thing.
Because I think that story has been sold by personal branding agencies, and because there's a very high correlation of this happening and the rise of personal branding agencies happening, there's a very, very high correlation.
Absolutely.
Because it was not existing before.
Absolutely.
So I think the story has been sold by...
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, everyone wants to be a celebrity. And I think sometimes when you become founder, when you have a lot of money, you have wealth, you have status, everything, you want more fame. I think and more status. I think it's getting driven by that. But that kills a lot of things. It's a bit of an issue.
100%.
I think you need to get specialists in the room who are good at their things.
And do an even toxic thing. Recently, not naming the brand, there's a CEO who thinks he knows marketing. Okay.
Like all.
It's
a lot of this is the other issue in marketing. I feel a lot of time spent getting people on the same page.
Yeah.
That kills
the other thing with,
cost.
Yeah, exactly, right. And that's the bigger time waste, because even if a strategy is wrong, let it play out. That's what I've always felt. Infighting is fine as long as there's a way to infight. Like I think in the office we keep talking about this, saying arguments are good. But
what is your convincing style in these cases when you are presenting a strategy and the other person is saying, I don't agree? So how do you...
So I would ask, what do you agree with?
Okay.
What do you want to do? Then I would get deeper into it. They'll say 1, 2, 3. If the 1, 2, 3 makes sense, I will say, okay, you make sense, we'll do it. But then if you do it, this is the outcome. X is the outcome.
Do you say that, okay, let's do A/B test?
Yeah, happy to. I'm more than happy. On certain things you can't, because principally we will have a certain understanding of the market and what is the best way to approach a problem, right? But if it is against the principle, then we'll say no.
I think legacies used to... you can tell me better. Back in those days, I have heard... I have seen, but I have not seen less. Like I started working in 2015, so I have not seen the upper era. But I have heard that legacies used to have a lot of power because the other side of the table used to respect. Okay, if they are saying something, they are saying.
Abhi bhi hai, because if you go to a legacy brand, there's a way in which they expect you to address. Like I have so many brand managers who I've worked with in the past with the legacy brands. They'll pick up the phone, they'll call you, hi Saanand ji, aap abhi free ho, hum baat kar sakte hain. They're very polite, very nice, but they expect you to show the same level of respect upwards in the family, because it is so a lot of the legacy businesses also are very family businesses, right? So they're built on family values anyway.
Right.
So there is a certain expectation that is there for you to behave in that sense, and that's their style and way of working. But I feel that a lot of them are very mature in their top mainline advertising fundamentals. Like they've been through 25 years, 30 years of mainline advertising, that they're very, very sure about that. Sometimes to convince them on the new, what is new is kind of hard. Also because they generally are not even boomer. Sometimes it's like alpha, right? Was it Gen Alpha? What's the one before boomer? You know
too
best.
old, I wouldn't know. Yeah,
exactly. But they come from a different...
You just call them too old.
Yeah. So they have very, very different outlook to things. They've never even opened social media. For example.
Are you able to gel well with the too old category? They think you are a new guy.
No, I mean some of them, if they come to us, they come because we are younger. Right. But I mean the same thing. They want something new, but they want a case study to prove that it works.
But I love working with clients who are boomers. I absolutely love it.
I love them.
I think they are sensible.
Yes.
They're mature.
They
have seen the world. They're not trigger happy. Things don't change so also they're most often they're not building good P&L businesses.
Exactly.
So they're not wanting to change things overnight, etc. So for a partner
There's
who works
FOMO with them.
For a partner who works with, it's easier. They're also in general very long-term relationship oriented. Right? And they're also in their organization, because of the thought process, people don't keep changing. And because people don't change, the vendors or the partner agencies don't change.
Like a very small thing, I think what Saanand touched upon is a very, very interesting thing. In my agency building, I can't recollect any early 20s or early 30s who have asked me for anything, to offer anything during lunch. I'm just talking about very basic etiquettes. Suddenly boomer.
Okay.
अरे सर इनको चाय पिलाओ यार, इनको खाना वाना खिलाओ यार, क्या कर रहे हो आप लोग? And they will be hospitable to the extent on another level. Every 1 hour they're like, अरे और एक कॉफी लो, अरे क्या कर रहे हो, और एक कॉफी लो.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had this one client, it's a famous legacy mattress brand. I used to go to their office for meetings far away in Whitefield, and every time I went there, I had to have lunch with them. They would take us to the terrace. They would have a kitchen and they would cook there. Food was cooked. And they would
Nice,
serve
yeah.
you, and you would basically have a meal with them, and only then could you leave.
And I think relations like this makes you feel good about what you are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
want to
It's
hang
a
out.
longer term game.
it
It's
also
a partnership,
comes
yeah.
from and I think I've been thinking and reflecting on this for the last 1.5 years. It's nothing to do with marketing or anything. It's just life in general, which is you reach a certain age where you're not chasing obsessively chasing a short-term goal against a milestone. You're just living life.
Yeah.
And you've reached a point where you don't have to prove anything to anybody, and you're just every day coming and saying, okay, I want to have a good time at work.
Yeah.
Right? It's just about just living out your career in that sense. So there I feel in those environments it's a lot more
There is this famous quote of Naval that play long-term games with long-term people.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah,
only thing
absolutely. Absolutely. So I think the problem with the younger age group, I feel millennials today are somewhere even a little bit more settled.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Millennials towards the
Because I feel for the
30s.
when millennials were in the 20s, they have aggressively chased better things in life. Now they're slightly slowing down and they're okay. So probably if someone shifts jobs every 2 years, now they probably would take 3.5 years to go.
Yeah.
That's what I see. But in the 20s today, it's less than a year that they look to move,
They
right?
shift,
And it's either they move when there's adversity, because they feel changing environment changes outcome, or it's basically just better hopium, like better opportunities. So that environment doesn't help.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for you to build strategic long-term marketing vision and goals, to be very honest. It's very hard if then there's so much change. So that's why I think a lot of these brands are coming to you for UGC, and then after that they're like, hey, can you now do organic? And then after 6 months, it'll be something else.
Can do something.
Yeah, I think a lot of that happens.
Build Hagen avatar for us. Yeah. That's next.
Vidhu's going to ruin all markets.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Maxing.
I
Maxing.
wanted to tell you this story. I don't know if you know this, when Nigel took a session for us, Nigel Williams.
Yeah.
So
I was there.
Yeah, so when back in 2019, I think this is Vidhu's early days in virality, and we had the creative director from Chiat Day, LA, from Cupertino, San Francisco, I think, who worked on the Steve Jobs' iPod campaign. Like, he was a CD for iPod campaign. And someone in our team knew him. He's doing ad films in India now at that time, and we got him on the show. Got him on in office to just talk to everybody. So he spoke to the whole office. And he did a 15-20 minute exercise with us where he was trying to define our brand. We were 1 year old as an agency. We didn't understand it. I was the oldest employee at 26 maybe. And there were maybe 2-3 other people, probably a little older maybe. But we were all young in the early 20s. And he did an exercise with us. So he showed us a video actually of his agency's branding. And then he said, does this look familiar? And we were like, no, whatever. It's like a funny story. It's like, my boss, he said, it was I think Lee Clough, head of Chiat Day, showed this to Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs loved this so much and said, I want this as our positioning. So he took this agency's positioning, which was, we are different, think different.
Yeah.
And they made it apples.
Nice.
So he told us this story and I was like, oh wow. So the greatest positioning or the example that everyone throws about in marketing is an advertising agency's own brand positioning, which has been taken and used. So
you need respect, and you need respect to do that.
Yeah.
Because if I look at you as a vendor, this magic won't happen.
Yeah, true. That's a whole other problem. Anyway, I have another question on touching on the same topics, which since we are in the founder section, which is a lot of founders are creating podcasts.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you know any?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might know one.
Okay.
See him every day. Okay. But why are they doing it? Is it something that everybody should do? For example, I think Mukesh Bansal has successfully
Who is the founder in India whose podcast you love?
I think everybody now will say WTF of Kamath's, right? But that's again just because his network is so diverse and topics are so interesting. And
Sam Altman came.
Yeah, exactly.
The recent guest,
Yeah. So I think that's become the benchmark for everybody. Other than that, I'm just trying to think, to be honest. Indian. It's
there is
hard.
Shantanu, there is Mukesh,
But I'm trying to see what I would listen to. Very few, very honestly. Because I pick and choose episodes based on where there's merit. But
the guest,
but I'm sure a lot of people are doing it. I have my theories on it. But what do you see as the reason? What do you see is the future for this?
Let him go first. I'd like to
Have you ever
Oh.
wanted to start a podcast?
Who is your favorite? Who is your
Let's
favorite?
ask.
by the way? Ah,
In
okay.
India, have I wanted to start a podcast? Yes.
Why?
Technically,
Why
that's
haven't
why I
you?
applied in WiredIn. Yeah. That's another conversation. 2019.
Yeah.
In India, probably with this list, I mean, Nikhil Kamath, I think we all watch here and there. I watched the Sam Altman one yesterday also.
Yeah, but I
Not
watch
great.
all of his
Yeah.
episodes by
But
the way.
Huh.
But I
Sam
know,
Altman-
but it's only for the diversity of opinions that I really consume
Yeah.
it for. That's my reason. Shantanu, I watch clips here and there. I
Yeah.
personally think Shantanu has more insights.
Shantanu has-
Yeah, his podcast is what I would say, yeah.
As a host,
Like when
and
Barbershop started.
Hmm.
Shit. That was the only podcast where, there were a lot of insights.
Yeah.
Lot.
I mean, I think the guest diversity was also very
You
different.
know
right?
Matrix
Yeah.
Partners?
Yeah.
Have you checked the YouTube channel?
no.
By
Good.
far. Damn.
I ran into one of those
Damn
Matrix
nice.
partners
Damn nice.
over the weekend.
They get
Yeah.
500 views, but doesn't matter. But damn nice.
Yeah, no, there
Matrix
are a lot
work by this done by all.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. But it makes sense because there was, I think, there was an Axel Anand Daniel, I think. He used to do a podcast back in 2014-15 online,
Okay.
virtually. And it was a very good show. It didn't quite take off at that, since, but this is the early wave of podcasts when it was too early. But there are a few like this. But yeah, coming back.
On founders creating podcasts.
The first you were saying that, okay,
Your favorite.
you wanted to do a podcast. And
I wanted to do a podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
My
Who-
favorite is WiredIn. 100%. Like, subscribe. Yeah. Right. I wanted to do a podcast. I mean, this was technically 2019, of course.
2019 you wanted to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Because I used to consume a lot of podcasts.
You are.
So, I mean, I like.
Vidhu and I did a few episodes together.
Oh,
Yeah.
in 2019.
2019, 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 10, 12 of them. It's somewhere archived in my channel.
It's there on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
there.
archived it.
Damn.
I couldn't dilute my equity. with you.
Shiva. It's still there, yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's purely because that was my consumption behavior. Like, I used to watch a lot of Impact Theory, which if you
Yeah.
know by Tom Bilyeu.
Yeah,
So I used to
yeah.
watch that a lot, and you can't get that much information in like say a 10-minute
Yeah,
YouTube
sure.
video.
100%.
So that's why I was also very bullish on it. And again, like the depth is very high. I think the insights per minute is generally a lot more higher than a short, which is at 30 seconds now.
insights per minute is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not all, but let's say the Nikhil Kamath and Sam Altman one had 0 insights. I lost 40 minutes. But I was playing PlayStation, so it was okay.
Yeah, see, exactly. That's typically how I consume most of these
Yeah.
as well.
You
So,
play PlayStations and
yeah, or watch or.
It's never the
doing
main thing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing some work and then it's
Obviously, it's never
playing.
the main
It's
thing.
just there. It's a secondary screen actually.
so why should someone invest heavy into video production?
That's exactly the thing.
I should
So
be reducing my
it
production
is.
cost.
It's very interesting right now. This is a separate conversation altogether. We'll pick up on this at the
Yeah.
end of
Yeah,
it. But on this, yeah. So what
Should
do you
founders do it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they should do it unless they have something unique to add to it or their own spin. Because otherwise, you're just getting lost in the ocean of stuff.
Things that they have a spin.
They think, but I think the view count will tell you if you really have something. And
But
I think
feel
also
view count is more a function of distribution.
View count is more a
it's
function
a distribution,
of,
but I think you should have
Because
a unique
like he said-
advantage to bring to it. Yeah.
Fair, but like he said, like the Matrix
Yeah.
podcast, I'll go check it out.
amazing insights,
Right?
but no distribution.
But no distribution.
Yeah.
So that could be a factor too, right?
Yeah.
I would say the thing is, see, it's important to be unique about it. Let's say Nikhil Kamath can bring guests. He can get Bill Gates, Sam Altman, which let's say most people can't get. But I think where there's interest in terms of YouTube and podcasts, and I'm getting more into it also is what do you as a brand have something unique which only you have access to that others don't have. That story that you can tell.
But
Then people are more
isn't that a
interested.
job of the agency who is doing that?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
agencies to crack that for the brand, figure out,
But-
hey, this is something which you can do uniquely for your this thing.
But by going by the logic of the red ocean, blue ocean,
Yeah.
it's hard, right? It's even
Very
harder.
hard. It's very hard.
Like for example, I and Nikhil Kamath can talk about the same things. For example,
Yeah.
So in the material, there's hardly anything different, but
Yeah.
the distribution is what makes the change.
Yeah.
Difference.
Yeah. But I think he's able to get the guest right. That's
Correct.
his unique thing.
Yeah.
Like he's able to get Sam Altman,
Got
so
it.
that inherently comes some distribution.
Got
But
it.
what makes sense for you as a brand with the teachers that you have, that can be unique. I think that's the only thing that's worth doing. Yeah.
Understood. Got it. So you'd recommend founders to do it or not do it? Simple like
I
if
think
it's
most founders shouldn't do it.
Hmm.
I think if you have it, like I think with Shantanu also, he says in like a lot of the clips at least, he says like it's a part of his job as CEO now.
Right.
And I think at least for me also, like Bombay Shaving like company became more relevant because of the podcast.
Right.
I mean, of course, I'm a founder, so I'm in a different TG, not the mass market time. But to me, it's relevant. Like I bought like a razor because of that. So at least there
You
was a
bought-
conversion.
How's the product?
He's an outlier.
How's
Yeah,
the
I know.
product?
I'm a
I've
very small time.
never bought any of their products.
It was good.
How-
I
don't
have
think it was
bought all
bad.
of the products. I don't like.
Yeah.
If you have
Still
used
Gillette?
yeah, I still use Gillette.
Yeah.
matlab.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have
I
much to use it
genuinely
for, but
want
yeah.
an Indian brand to compete with Gillette and try to beat them. I genuinely want, but I'm not able to.
Finally.
Yeah, so it is a placebo. I don't know, but
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Is that low? How deltas the quality in terms of Bombay shaving versus Gillette? How much worse is it?
yeah,
Hmm.
20% difference. Like a
Okay,
top premium highest. I have tried everything. Just out of
Okay,
curiosity, I keep on trying
Yeah.
D2C. No.
Right.
Gillette का Mark 3 turbo को भी beat नहीं कर पा रहे. मतलब I'm not going even
Yeah.
the glides and
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know.
Fair.
Not even.
So, what's your take on the same question?
Uh,
You have better perspective actually.
so I'll just add nuance because that is what it is. Okay, let me try to compartmentalize. A founder going IPO, podcast is needed. A founder doing B2B, podcast is needed. A founder doing B2C, podcast is needed only for employer branding, VC connects, investors, and all those B2B. So suddenly, basically, this is a good replacement of your Copcom that used to exist in the previous days. The Copcoms and external communications department and all stuff. But the challenge here is you can't do it because everyone thinks you put up a mic, have a black coffee, and it will trigger some neurons in your head, and you will be able to do that. It is not that easy. Even if you do that, that is still beatable.
Yeah.
But everyone has their own taste. Like the way questions are not the mode because ChatGPT will give.
Yeah.
The way he asks a question and the way he decodes is the mode.
Correct, yeah.
Now here is that is still replaceable. The bigger challenge is the distribution.
Yeah.
Where there are enough production agencies who will do podcast.
Yeah.
There are enough production agencies who will say, we understand distribution. Yeah, simple hai. If there are enough CDs in the market, there will be good films.
Yeah.
If there are not enough CDs in the market, there will be not good films.
Yeah.
The fact that there are not enough good YouTube strategists who have actually built multiple channels, how the hell will I agree that, hey, there are enough agencies that can exist who will do good work? It's as simple as that. And you don't need some very big shot intellectual guy to crack it. It's as simple as that. Look at the agency who is doing, ask who is your strategist, see his pedigree, you will get an answer. It's as simple as that. Hardly few people.
Yeah.
Because a podcast agency who is not having an ex-TVF, an ex-BuzzFeed, I don't think they will crack it. It's just fluke. It's just happened. Anything that happens on fluke, that means it's on guest. The problem is, and I was having a chat with Saanand before on this, podcast is just a format.
Yeah.
If you have to build your personal brand, your P2C, piece to camera opinion needs to come out.
Yeah.
Now that is the main game that people are not cracking.
Yeah.
So Shantanu is right now doing that. Like there is a lot of P2Cs Instagram pe he does that. There is a lot of opinions and all. Because Nikhil Kamath works because he's not a nobody. It's as simple as that.
Of course, yeah.
But if you copy paste Nikhil Kamath's playbook,
It won't work.
it won't work because essentially, Nikhil Kamath works because of guest and the network of guest. Now, that network ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं कर सकता. If Mukesh Ambani tomorrow thinks
decides he can
Of
do
course,
better
he
than
can
that.
do much better than that,
Yeah.
obviously, उस पे. But it's a distribution, यार और कुछ नहीं है. It's just a distribution. I think if there is a great distribution team, a VC can be cracked. Like a best example I said, Matrix Partners has the most amazing insight you will see from your perspective.
An episode, yeah.
Distribution is shitty. कुछ नहीं है distribution. There is no strategy at all. It's just random. Not working.
Let's hope YouTube pushes it, which is not the case.
Every VC you ask, they will say, I want to build a YC YouTube channel.
Yeah.
There is no YC equivalent YouTube channel in India because there is no distributor or a YouTube agency who has done that at scale for a whatever. How it will work.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's fundamentally what we're building.
Yeah. So it's a multiple layer chain. But again, I will then challenge you on that. Show me your chief strategies. Show me your strategy team. I will fail to accept you not having a data science team coming from BuzzFeed and telling me, hey, you have the greatest production guy and the greatest thumbnail guy and I have the great team to crack podcast. Will not work on long term. That is what the reality is. And those are just nuances. Just find right partners, just find right logic, do B2B. So yes, founders should do, but have this clarity is simple. Like the Bombay shaving company, as you said, like those 1 million impressions are not buying razors.
Yeah, absolutely.
those are for his
But I
investment
think,
thesis.
if you ask me what are the top 3 brands in men's grooming, shaving, now I think Bombay Shaving is there.
The list.
Yeah, because I would say Gillette. There is another brand, I think Turbo.
Gillette
lot
Turbo or
of-
something, right?
Oh,
I don't know.
so-
That's their own product, yeah.
Then there's some.
There is another brand who is Milind Soman is the brand ambassador.
Zlade.
Zlade.
That is
right.
for like
but Zlade is
intimate
more
trimmer,
trimmers and I think
They
that's
have a razor,
more.
no?
I
They don't have a razor now. We
think
work
they
with
do.
Slade, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think they do. But you'll struggle actually.
Yeah,
right?
working with this guy.
So
Nikhil.
Yeah.
then there's also like you look at there isn't many options actually.
No,
so
no.
somewhere recall wise it's there. So if you
Yeah.
don't get Gillette,
But that recall
somewhere-
is not happening again. We are elite class who
Yeah.
consume podcasts.
Of course.
The
Of course.
recall is happening because of performance marketing, the distribution they have done, offline, whatever, not for podcasts.
Right.
So you think it's not a good investment? Like
No, exactly as I said. It's a good investment, but tie it up with your employer branding, B2B, investors, going into IPO, do whatever. Don't tie it to your sales. And जबरदस्ती वो head of brand के ऊपर उसका गला पकड़ के ये मत बोलो कि मेरा sale कितना हुआ दिखा, sale कितना हुआ दिखा.
How much CAC went down after
How much
the
CAC went
podcast,
down.
yeah. Right.
My take on this is you should do it if you are committed to it, if you can scale it, and
100%.
more importantly, you have skill.
Yeah.
Some skill that makes you conducive to some form of content creation. Like honestly, if I was asked to do any other format, like personally, I would struggle. This is the best I can do. This is the most motivated I am in a form of content creation. If you ask me to do piece to camera myself holding a phone selfie,
will be
I'll
tougher.
struggle.
It will be tougher.
It doesn't naturally come to me.
Yeah.
So I understand and play accordingly, right? But I'm sure if I was a great dancer and if I could give out insights, marketing insights while doing some kind of dance move, I probably would choose that, right? Because that cuts through the clutter.
Yeah.
So I think if you have self-awareness in that basis and
True, but I
And
will
if-
give you more ideas on this.
Huh.
So and here is where I feel there is a market gap. If you can solve it, great. I'm not currently focusing on solving it. I generally do it as an advisory whenever anyone reaches out to me, but not very bullish on doing it as a business. Personal branding is the larger moat. Podcast is just a format. So let's take Saanand for an example. Now Saanand says Saanand is not comfortable in doing a P2C which is facing to the camera. The reason is, for an example, he's not comfortable in just speaking to the camera, for an example. But Saanand is comfortable in putting a camera here and then speaking to anyone.
Talking,
Okay? If I'm the agency on board, and this is where I think you have to change your mindset from production to a more strategy.
Yeah.
So what I will do, Saanand writes content, let's say on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Likha content, you wrote because you're comfortable. Put that on an LCD. React to that content, explain that content, putting a camera side mein. Done.
Fair. Makes
Done.
sense.
So essentially, I got the job done, which is
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I
this
think-
is a format.
No doubt about it. And this is where I think a creator, a founder who's trying to create content will need support from an ecosystem.
Exactly.
Because they won't be able to do it themselves.
Exactly.
And I think they'll
So
be getting.
hence it is not as it is.
Yeah.
Just get 2 camera people
Correct.
and 2
And shoot.
editors
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then operator pe chala uspe and everything. You need the whole ecosystem.
Exactly.
And 1 month they'll stop because there's no views.
There's no views. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other problem, right? Because if you get only 100 views and then it's not motivating enough and then they don't do anymore. But the point is, if
That's
you keep
almost
doing,
always going to be the case.
Yeah, exactly. If you keep doing it, that's the only way you will actually get up.
Yeah.
So I think
you have been consistent for quite a long time. Like,
not as much as I wanted to be because I also frequency wise I only do 2 a month, which is a problem.
Yeah.
I think I should do 4 a month, then I think it'll be slightly better.
Yeah.
Especially when business calls, then you don't, right?
100%,
So I had a
100%.
phase in Feb where I shot like 5 episodes. Then I didn't shoot till April.
Yeah.
Then I shot one with April with Captain Gopinath, Air Deccan ka founder. But then the footage got corrupted. I couldn't put it out. Big problem. Yeah, it's a huge issue. Now to get
Hidden
this
agency, yeah.
I know. And that too, it's our own team, so I can't even say anything.
Right, yeah.
But a huge issue. Then after that, I
agencies
did.
also do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It can happen to anyone.
No, we don't, yeah.
Anyone, anyone can drop a hard disk.
Yeah.
But after that, I went into
Only
another.
vendors drop hard disk, partners don't. Yeah. That's right, yeah.
That's true.
That's the thumbnail.
That's true.
That's it, yeah.
That's the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And then I went to another 2-month sprint, but then tax filing came in between. I got stuck with that. I didn't shoot for a while. So, and sometimes people cancel, like today, someone couldn't make it. Stuff like that happens. But yeah, you're right. That consistency is required. And then I think you'll also grow. Like, this is funny. 2019 or 18, I think. 18 probably. This is before Vidhu's time. I worked with the founder of a software company, fairly large one, to build his personal brand. And it was a format where they were picking up topics and camera to be to the person he was talking about it, but he didn't have it in his DNA.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is so early, and he's also exploring it. And I remember going on one of the shoots. So we said we'll do strat. Somebody else was doing the production, and we sort of nailed it down and gave it to him, etc. And we went for the shoot, and we were watching him. And I still remember it was Onam, and I had to skip Onam that day for being on set. We shot for 9 hours, and we got 3 1-minute clips.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was so hard for this founder to actually do it.
Yeah.
But then, luckily, I think he realized it 1 year later and he stopped and he chose writing as a format.
Yeah.
But that's a very important thing you need to know. What format works best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you can combine all of this together and then... But
also the awareness needs to happen. Like, for an example, if I have to do personal branding, if let's say my per month production cost is, let's say, 1 lakh, no one is stopping me to save 1 lakh for 5 months, put 5 lakh, give it to Saanand and a bunch of podcasters and come as a guest. If you want to solve personal branding, so I was having this chat with Abhinav actually. Personal branding is technically surface area. The more you speak, that is personal branding. It is not the less you speak.
Yeah.
I think, no, a combination of that. I think you should speak the apt amount. Like, there are some people who go, if they go on a podcast longer than 1 hour, they'll get exposed.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't have material enough to sustain a conversation.
True.
So it's a sign that's why, you know, when like you look at a Joe Rogan, even a Kamath's podcast for extent, but Kamath's podcast I think is shared screen time.
Multiple people.
So
I don't consider Kamath podcast as a right playbook because his screen time is still lesser. He's more of an interviewer.
Exactly.
It has just worked, but that doesn't mean it can be repetitive.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Joe Rogan is a better
Rogan's a
idea.
great example.
Yeah.
But Rogan, there's that Protect the Parks, which is a new format, a new... it's a roundtable again of comedians.
Yeah.
It's a 6-hour podcast. He does 6 hours.
Yeah.
Now, to sustain a conversation for 6 hours, you need incredible skill.
True.
Yeah.
So that's not for everybody either. Anyway, I have another question, which is brands are hiring creators to be their face, right? To be representatives.
Very bad idea.
Right? I think now in our ecosystem, the most famous story is, I think, Sahiba Bali, who did it with Zomato. But I think she was an actor
she was an
already.
employee.
Yeah.
So she was an actor.
Yeah.
I think she did a few, acting gigs and then turned to job, and then it ended up. But then, of course, they got Samay and Kulu and others, etc. But a lot of other brands also are doing this. What are your thoughts on this trend? Is this going to last? Do you see tomorrow someone getting hired full time just to be a representative? I think today nano and micro creators are happening. But you see a celeb going there. Like there was a very interesting campaign that... what's the company where the CEO and the HR got busted? Astronomer?
Yeah.
So they hired Gwyneth Paltrow. And they did it's just a video, but it's like a campaign.
It's
just
a campaign.
Who was an ex-wife of...
exactly, right?
Yeah.
But that's a very well done.
Yeah.
But assume you had someone like that who's
That I'll
your
give
face.
credit to your PR.
Yeah.
Which was Ryan Reynolds' agency, by the way. They were the team behind it.
Nice.
It was their idea.
It makes
strong.
sense.
Well, after ages, I have seen a damn good PR.
So that's an example, and I think there'll be, like, for example, that could you see tomorrow someone is actually a celebrity who probably is not getting enough gigs, probably in movies or so, which happens a lot in India after a certain, peak of yours. Do you see them getting hired? Did you see the trend going in that direction?
Getting hired. So you're not saying it's like a brand ambassador thing.
Exactly. So brand ambassador thing itself, where you would have to commit X hours in a month to make content for a brand. It's happening for brands from an advertising perspective, but I'm not talking about advertising. I'm talking about content. Could be middle of the funnel too, right?
Yeah.
Do you see that happening there?
I'll tell you what I have. Okay.
Because if everybody hires a nano creator, if everybody has a face, at some point there's no differentiation. Then someone's going to go and bring someone bigger, right?
So, okay. I don't believe in having one face because I have past traumas where every time you hire a new face and you make them big, you say anyone. That's a toxic conversation after 1 year. They will ask more salary, they will ask equity, they will like, मैं छोड़ के निकल जाऊँगा मेरे ये पे है, and the moment they leaves, they take the distribution, and every brand owner knows it. So no one, like I have met 50 to 60 founders this year, and I have not met a single founder who mentioned that, hey, I just need one face. Even if it is a nano creator, they are not gonna give that to one face at all. If they have to, they are like, कि भाई मेरा face रहेगा. Like for example, Oziva, दबा के founder पूरा मेरा ही है. Even if that ad is not looking nice to pleasant to eyes, but if that converts, that's even great, for an example. So one creator doesn't make any sense. Doesn't matter if it's a nano creator or a large creator. What is happening that I'm noticing is formats wise faces. So for an example, me using R Madhavan to build a podcast is a format, not कि लेके पूरा का पूरा छाप दिया पूरा का पूरा. Now Acco has Dhoni, for an example. Now that is being used in a top line. I don't know if I can use it in a digital medium or not. I don't know. That's a separate thing. But I am noticing that okay, my YouTube has 2 to 3 faces. My Instagram has 2 to 3 faces spread out. So association is not there. Like a stable money, for an example, investing in KBC for Amitabh still exists, but for market expansion. Yeah. It's a short stint, 6-month campaign, market expansion, then we'll close it. We're not going to build a bloody IP out of it, long-term IP out of one face and all. That is not happening. What I'm noticing is, okay, this IP is happening over your founder. So this one person face has moved towards founder, which also is a dead territory. I mean, succession planning is not there. How do you build a brand over one person and all? But this is what is happening. I'm noticing. I have not seen. I don't think so. This will happen. That you take a TV star and make a one-person thing out. Like for example, AstroTalk. AstroTalk had Sunny Leone, then Shweta Tiwari, 6 people for ads and banner space. So not an ambassador contract. It's just a influencer marketing contract, which is getting renewed every 6 months. Now they have different face to speak. So this is happening.
So there's like a fatigue with the face.
There's a good word. There's a fatigue with the face.
But it's also because maybe the face and that particular brand fit is not
then click.
Is not clicking is our best, right?
I don't think so. What is happening is,
would there be fatigue if Saiba Bali, for example, did twice the number of videos that she did for Zomato in that year, for example?
There will be fatigue because the problem is if Sahiba Bali is doing 1000 promotions, she is doing Zomato, she is endorsing a shoe brand, this brand, that brand.
Okay, yeah. So that I agree. That yes, but if you are signed exclusively,
then it's great.
Then it works, right? Because UFC is a great example with this former Playboy girl, Playgirl, right? That's what you call her, Nina Marie Daniel. I think she's terrific with what she does in terms of dissecting mixed martial arts content and bringing it up in a very different tone. You have a Danish Seth, for example, who does this with RCB. He has his own unique show, right? And I think that's been a hit.
Again, the examples that you are giving is IP building. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Just one format.
Yeah, exactly. That's ideally. So ideally, if you were to invest and bring someone on board, you try to find the best format that works for that creator.
Like I won't take a Saiba Bali and make a brand ambassador of Zomato.
Probably,
like even
an
if,
IP,
like even if right now Zomato did not a brand ambassador program, they did that A.R. Rahman, Shah Rukh Khan and all. They took 4 faces.
Right.
Yeah. They did not take one face and build a theory around it and all stuff. So
right. But a future trend for brands?
To get more creators to build IPs or?
Yeah, I mean...
So I want to do with creators. I'll tell you the challenge when I'm having this conversation with creators. Do I want to do? Yes. As a brand person, as an agency owner, when I was there with the brand, these creators are not agreeing to that. Neither the agency. They are like, nahi, bhai, no.
Because at the end of the day, it's a job.
No, so I'll tell you what they are saying. They are saying, oh, my creative freedom is taken away. One year, मैंने job तो छोड़ा था सिर्फ to have freedom. 1 year I can't do this. It kills my creative expression. So they have not mentioned कि okay, ठीक है, I will take other 5 brands because I am making more money. No, I have not heard a single creator telling me that. I have heard एक साल एक brand नहीं. I will get typecasted. Delivery company के साथ नहीं एक साल नहीं. That is a problem. Right. So brands want to do that, but creators are not ready.
But what if you pick someone who's a nano creator and then a part of the journey?
Brands will not do that because why will I invest my money into a nano creator to make them big?
If fair, see now this is the thing. I had this conversation with somebody in 2019 and he said the same thing because I was giving an example of how Taco Bell at that time in 2014 had a 2-member Snapchat team. So any content that went on Snapchat, they were the presenters or anchors, right?
Yeah.
And they were not really well-known people. They were just anchors and people with good personality and who could do it. So a lot of MCs, for example, found careers through social media that took them across. But yes, if you have the skill, you might as well build the audience for yourself.
Right.
right? Unless you're in the early days where you want to work with a brand that's giving you the resources to build something.
Right.
Yeah.
And then later you can capitalize on that and go away, right? The way I would look at it if I was a brand is like how NBC produces Tonight Show. Sure, there was a time when you had Johnny Carson, then Leno came,
Right.
then Conan O'Brien came, then Leno came back, and then you had, I think Fallon now, right? Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
You will find new faces. So
Right.
if you own the IP,
The format is what.
yeah.
Format is
Then
what
like even with the other show, right? What the Hot Wings, Hot Ones.
Hot ones, yeah.
They tried changing the host, it didn't work, I guess.
Sean Evans, yeah,
Got to
okay.
bring him back, but I don't think he's like the most charismatic
Yeah.
host or a presenter you
I
ever
mean,
seen.
he can eat all
But
the
there are
wings.
some
Yeah.
brands, I think
That's
so,
the mode he
so I
has,
think
yeah.
brands are okay. So for me as a creator, I just got to recall because I forgot these instances. Hustle when Lenskart was there. Since I have this habit of having, so I have 25 pairs of specs. So
Wow.
specs are my fast fashion. I think Lenskart spoiled the whole market for that. People
Yeah.
used to keep four
Absolutely.
years. They
Yeah.
made that into a fashion accessory.
Yeah.
display.
Tell me about it.
So when Hustle started, they reached out to me. They said that, hey, you any which ways create business related content. They're just gonna send you specs every month. Just wear that and do content whatever you want. So this 0-1 network theory, they gave it to me 4 years before.
Nice, okay.
Ki, okay, do whatever the hell you want, no approvals, you don't need to send a script. We are just sending you spec, just wear the spec, and only time you are talking anything intellectual, just wear the spec. That's it. Just pay. Interesting. They did not ask me to put Hustle logo as well.
Okay.
So they were like, we know we are the only ones जिसका color yellow है.
Right.
Yeah.
ठीक है. And only Seth Godin is wearing a yellow.
Yeah.
ठीक है. You do whatever the hell you want. And they did this with 20, 30, 40, 50 multiple creators with that. I recently got reached out a very large, I'm going to close a deal, I guess, as a creator, a 1-year contract. They're like, you be my face of a B2B marketing, performance marketing, brand awareness campaign.
Okay.
Give me 5
Nice.
videos. I want a 1-year right for running ads. And I was like, तो 1 year क्या कर रहा है? Are you not taking 5 people? They're like, we are taking only 3 people. And here is where the main thing is. They use this word. You stand for trust in the startup market, curiosity. Someone who has tried to change careers, force himself to do marketing. You will be the representation of that. We'll have another representation of a separate community. Someone else separate. But this is a 1-year contract.
Right.
Now I just got this a huge B2B brand. We'll just do a public announcement after it gets launched. But the point is, since they directly reached out to me, so since I said yes, they were okay.
Right.
If I was like, nahi bhai, मैं तो 1 साल तक I don't want to do it, I will typecast it and all. So I think brands are okay in doing that. It's just the creators and agencies we are creating a big blocker in between.
Got it. Makes sense. Again, I think we'll have multiple models of this in the future.
yeah.
Like you're getting, right? Even I had a fashion brand reach out to me for the first time.
Oh.
I think probably they wanted everyone to wear that brand when they're on the show.
Yeah.
But they reached out. But it came through a PR agency, so I didn't engage. That's been my modus operandi because I'm agency myself. I don't want to go to agency.
I know your margins, yeah.
I speak to the brand directly, but a lot of that is happening too. So I guess it's only a matter of time when our entrepreneurs are going to get picked as B2B representatives for a service. I think that we are in that era now.
I think B2B has a massive disruption needed.
Yeah.
Because a lot of agencies are focusing in B2C innovations.
Yeah.
A lot of B2B. Like that Cluely thing, na?
Yeah.
You watch Cluely ad, I'll tell you what it opened my brain. I was like, every time you raise a fund, it's a boring announcement that you do. What if I just make that
They made it super sexy, yeah.
You just make it super sexy. You watch these videos of the funding announcement, you will be like, there is no single brand in India who has made that sexy
They raised funding from A16Z, and in a podcast they were saying these marketing helped a lot.
Yeah,
That's
of
why
course.
they stood out in the market,
Yeah.
and that's why they put money.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah.
Because even the thesis, they have attention,
Right.
so they'll anyway pivot the product because it's an AI-driven
I watch
product.
them closely. I have huge respect.
Right.
The way
Yeah.
they are doing marketing.
Nice.
So an Indian brand like that should come.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Time to start a brand.
Yeah.
Maybe a razor company, because I heard there's a gap in the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
Okay.
name beyond 2 brands.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
What do you clear? You shave every day? No.
Every 3 days, maybe. Yeah.
Once
2-3
a month.
days.
And you get
Once
full.
a month. Huh? Oh. Today morning I shaved. Yeah. With
You
my
can't
Bombay,
be the poster boy of.
Can't be the poster boy now.
Right.
I'll be the CEO who's not creating a brand out of India. But I'll definitely hire a CMO and a chief of
Yeah,
growth
get
also.
me. Yeah. Hire him as a CMO, hire me as a CGO.
Yeah.
Spend all your
And
time.
we will
You
not
guys
fight.
fight. You have to
We will
fight.
not
You have
fight.
to
We will
fight,
not
no.
fight.
I have to view the fight. Yeah, that's the
Spend
point.
all your time managing that shit.
Yeah.
Anyway. My final question. So a company like Zerodha is building a content network, right?
01.
Yeah. I don't know if there are any similar examples around the world of something at that scale and magnitude. I'm curious, why are they doing it? Because I've been a customer of Zerodha for, I think, 11 years now. 2014 is when I started trading on the platform.
Did you go to Zerodha first or did you go to small case ke via or?
No, I had a friend who was trading on Zerodha back in 2012, 13, 14.
And you went to them because the brokerage fees was less.
Yeah,
That's
so
it.
I was introduced to discount brokerage.
That's it.
And my friend hyped it up as this incredible thing where you could get in and trade and then spend as little as 20 rupees for a trade.
Yeah.
And it's not like where you have to pay a percentage to the broker, right? Which was what was my dad was doing basically at that time. So I found this different, and also it is no pressure. You could do it yourself and extensive onboarding and stuff, but easy to do.
Were they the only DIY easy onboarding?
Yeah.
There wasn't more.
I think everything else was a bank at that time or a institutionalized brokerage like
How long ago was this?
2014.
Really?
Early, late 13, early 14 or late 14.
Because I got
15,
introduced to these names like Angel One, Zerodha very lately.
Yeah.
Angel One is like very recent, right?
Yeah, no,
Angel One is very old, very old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
marketing has been more recent, is it? Okay.
I had a 5-6 month window where I was just figuring out what I wanted to do when I was 22 years old. So I had time. And that was the reason I did this. But I got into Zerodha and I traded for about 6 months. I spent 51k. I exited with a loss. I realized I exited with 47k, right? But I was very young. But I was just learning how it works and how share markets work, and I purely did equity and I didn't do day trading. So I basically just spent my time exploring. So I'm familiar with Zerodha from that day and from those times. And one thing I realized as my takeaway of the brand was I felt immense amount of trust on Zerodha as a platform. I think that whatever base level of communication that they did with you, the fact that they didn't really try to sell you
Because
additional things. Yeah, right. I found it very easy, less pressure as a young person who was not really very informed.
Yeah.
Right? But I like the thesis of it. Now, fast forward to 11 years later, there's this content network and they're doing, they're sponsoring creators. And I heard one of the deals you're talking about. To me, it sounds like a great deal for the ones who are creating content. I don't know how much of it is there for Zerodha, but I don't know if there are any more examples of this in the world. I tried looking up, I couldn't find too many of this model. But do you guys have a theory on why they're doing it? And I asked because you mentioned that Nitin had put out a tweet.
Yeah, he put out a tweet.
Saying that this is not really benefiting business. So
he put out a tweet which says, okay, this is stagnant. What was it? The broker business is stagnant.
Yeah.
While we are doing this, it is not.
I mean, it's not driving PNL.
It is not driving PNL.
Right. So what are your theories? Why are they doing it?
What is your theory?
I mean, I think looking at who all they've invested in and stuff. If you're a creator, it's an absolute great deal, by the way, because you fundamentally don't have stability. You don't have a regular income, right?
Yeah, if I leave job, I'll reach out to them.
You need it, right? It's like you're basically getting a salary,
Yeah.
in a nutshell, right? To create content, which is the dream.
Yeah.
I think why they're doing it, the only theory I could think of is, let's say, they've invested in all the categories that are very relevant in, let's say, I think they're trying to be more culturally relevant pop culture wise. And so it's not always pop culture.
Why does Zerodha needs a pop culture?
See, it's the same thing where it's just more association. I would argue even maybe they also views maxing, where it's like whoever, let's say, they're not anyway outside of finance everywhere, they're also investing in other stuff about health and everything, right?
True.
So wherever's there, whoever creators, which people who already have attention, they're like, hey, now you're part of the 01 network, you're slapping a logo on the top right. So you're building some kind of association. But I think it's a longer term brand building exercise. Where it's
But if that was true, a Kotak 811, which owns the full spectrum of product for the youth, should be doing a FinFest, should be doing this as well.
Yeah.
But this is still broking.
No, I think the financial fest, I still get it, by the way.
01 Fest,
Because 01 Fest came way later.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So they made content sense first, and then this was okay. Let's attempt this
like
and see
an
what is
event, yeah.
happening.
Correct,
So is it a way to get attention?
But have you been there?
No.
Did you go there?
No.
you will legit see कि okay यहाँ पे P&L नहीं दिखेगा. These are early 20s folks, Bangalore, who will use a small case maybe.
Yeah.
But parent will not get max P&L sense out of it. Like no.
But don't you think they'll build behavior with Zerodha? Like once they become older, 10 years later, make more money.
I don't think so. I was with Jupiter and something interesting I'll tell you. All neobanks, whose theory was we'll make money out of early 20s.
The youth,
everyone failed. Everyone. You name FI, Jupiter, then that neobank which got sold, which was doing credit card for teenagers.
FamPay.
Everyone. This theory doesn't work. Kyunki what I have realized with time, with age as well, I think what Saanand was exactly mentioning, right? Money is only with 30 to 40.
Yeah.
A bigger chunk of money is post 40 because you are hitting your maturity. You are at a higher salary.
You're learning how to multiply.
You are learning how to multiply. Maybe your PPFs and EPFs are getting matured, so you have a larger chunk. So once you have a larger chunk, you have to deploy it somewhere. Either you will deploy it into an FD or something. But that lies there. I don't know what they are doing, but from a theory, I have not seen anyone doing that. But there are people who are doing essentially what they are doing. They might be funding creators or sponsoring creators just to put their logo. That's all. It's a brand sponsorship. Cred has done that. So Cred has done that with Labor Law Advisor by building an IP called Jagrak Janata. Now Cred might not have bought the channel name.
Yeah.
They might be paying more by buying out a channel name. So the model exists. The model has been done in multiple folds. And I think the Cred, maybe Cred did that because they were like, okay, I want to own the IP, not have the pressure ki, okay, this I have to be repeating my rental FD ki, okay, show my logo. I think what they have done is a very interesting model, but my only problem is all of the networks that they have invested in, I'm not very convinced about the investment because there is a very high audience overlap. The GrowthX, 01 by Zerodha, then और कौन है बहुत सारे हैं. There is a single creator, then they're all, it's all same 18 to
the same markets.
Same markets overlap. If you are a CMO, I don't think it will look good on your P&L.
But
that's what he put.
But are they doing it because maybe they're making so many investments in startups and companies right now?
That could be a case because, if that is the case, then why will I put Zerodha's name? Because the investments are not happening by Zerodha. They are either happening by Rainmatter or by WTF.
But maybe I think I think the money sits with Zerodha, right? As a P&L, where's the profit at?
That I don't know.
I don't think they can really. They are spending as much on their marketing, so there's so much marketing budget left that you might use it this way. Could that be the reason? I think I read in a Reddit thread that they're trying to build trust and then figuring out when to deploy the trust in the future.
I don't think trust works like that. I have a different theory. Trust.
But you're essentially
exactly as you said, right? So I'm just also thinking of the cuff right now. What you said. Trust existed because they did not say we exist.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If I have to build trust, let me do vernacular. If I have to buy out channels, let me buy all the vernacular finance channels of India. Why will I only buy English where I know, okay, we all run perf, right? You know, any perf ad you run where there is a English. Majority spends will go into Uttar Pradesh, Bangalore, Bombay. Done. Now, if I'm a brand, if I have to deploy this brand awareness, I know कि वहीं पे 3 पे rotate होगा.
Yeah.
So, I would rather do vernacular as well.
They are doing vernacular, I think also. They have things. School Hindi, I think, is also part of it.
But that is not vernacular because it's the same guy, na?
Yeah.
No, but from what I know, they are investing in these channels and creators. The creators are in turn running the channel in the direction that they want.
Yeah. They have full creative freedom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if nobody was going into vernacular, then there's no reason for having
vernacular. There's no reason for having that. I would rather, I think, maybe have one Tamil investment, one Telugu investment, one. That makes sense. To
the P&L, yes.
To the P&L, yes. Also to the trust as well. Because trust is a game. I have to take macro India, right? I cannot say, okay, just Bangalorean thing.
Tier 6 Whitefield, yeah.
Tier 6 Whitefield, yeah. So, I don't know what game they're playing, but could be that investment maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I see that as the only possible way.
It's the entire universe. The Zerodha universe. Like WTF is just within the universe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Exactly.
Like the last thing I know that next year 01 Network is an entertainment company.
It's a media company.
I think they have something with Collective Artists Network. Group
Yeah.
The last thing I know, okay. They're joining hands together. Media company.
Right.
But you don't think, let's say in a 20-year horizon, it'll be like positive for Zerodha?
No, possibly, but I'm just asking.
For the broking business?
Yeah.
No, not at all. Doesn't make sense. See, finance works with pure math. Exactly what you said.
Super logical.
My allegiance is only because you are discounting.
Yeah.
It's like this. The simplest example, index fund. Index fund is index fund. There is a Navi fund, there is a Grow fund, there is a Zerodha fund, for example. All three are doing marketing. You will simply say the exit ratio, expense ratio, whatever is the lowest, you will just go by that. You will not say, oh, acha, yahan pe nikhil kaam aate, wahan pe wo
I saw the podcast.
It's inconsequential.
It's inconsequential.
I think because I think finance is where there is zero emotion, there is zero need for brand, zero feelings. It's pure mathematics that makes everything, right?
Because we're looking at a long term. 20 years tak, I don't know who will exist, who will not. I know expense ratio abhi commit kiya na, sabse lowest hai.
That's
the holy grail.
Yeah. So now my question was about if this can be done by anybody else, or
This,
because
like,
I'm just thinking out
Can
loud.
be done or should be done?
Both. Actually, let's say, because I'll tell you what yes.
Can, yes.
Everyone who has a
money,
kitty can do
yeah.
it. Should is a question. I'm just thinking out loud. If there's any brand who I think should have capitalized and done this,
I'm exploring that with the partners we have.
right?
By
So-
next 2 years.
Right. So for me, I would say a Netflix should have definitely done it. For example, right?
Okay.
If you are in but a
yes.
different kind of creators, not typically the ones in the educational content space.
But Netflix bought the IPs. Like with Kullu, they created an IP.
Correct. But exactly, because Netflix understands the power of an IP and they're going more the previous way which we discussed, which is they're hiring a creator, right? Or they're collaborating with a creator and then creating an IP. But if they wanted to do this, they could. But I'm assuming most corporations will not do it because of the risk element.
Yeah.
Now, if you're not controlling the narrative, like for example, how many brands do we know who are absolutely stuck up on, I don't want to use another word came to my mind, I don't want to use it, stuck up on the scripts and the approval process.
For sure.
They will nitpick every single thing, right?
For sure.
So for a creator, that would be stifling, and I don't think enough companies have the courage to give a free hand.
Give freedom,
Right? So I
In
don't
that
know.
department, they have done a phenomenal
Yeah,
job.
exactly.
It takes
Yeah.
guts.
Exactly.
To do
For
that,
a financial finances for a broker, right? For an exchange, essentially, it's very hard. But for whatever reason, they've been able to do it. a Kotak will never do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely
ever,
no,
never,
right?
ever.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not in their DNA to think and work like that. A bank, for that matter. So, is there any other type of business that could
Can
do
do
it and
this.
can do it? Because I don't see an example anywhere else. So, and I'm surprised because I'm sure there are people looking at it and thinking, hey, this sort of somewhere, because FOMO drives so much in our market.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm not seeing another example of this coming through. It's very interesting.
I was having this conversation with Ravinath only, and it was very interesting that for you to do this, you need massive capital. And if you already have massive capital, that means you already have built distribution. If you've already built distribution, you already don't need this.
Right.
The only people. So you do organic, digital, social, Insta, YouTube at the 0 to 1, 1 to 10, 10 to 100 stage max. And HUL will not do it, but HUL is the only person who has the money.
Yeah.
So here is the paradox.
Right.
So they have the money, but the founders felt like we will do. But there are no one else will do it.
Yeah.
No one else will do it. Like Angel One is attempting, by the way. But
Right.
Angel One is attempting by doing MCN, multi-channel. I think they already have 3 channels if I'm not wrong. But they're doing it in-house, completely in-house.
Got it.
Okay.
My parting theory on this has just been that the TAM of traders in India is limited.
100%.
Yeah.
So there's only so much they can reach with their marketing budget.
Correct.
There are a lot of money lying around,
Correct.
which probably can't be deployed for marketing.
Correct.
They're diverting it to build other surrogate arms, I would say, in stealth, for it to build into large properties tomorrow that they can just turn the key and then use it for whatever they want to.
So
That's my feeling.
So that is there could be, you never know. Malab, one of my friend told me, I don't know if that is an analogy, but could be. Reliance invests in media to control narrative.
Yeah.
That's it.
All of them, actually. Most of them.
That's the play, yeah.
So could be that they are just, so it's a PR game for them to
Right.
control the narrative, nothing else.
Right.
That's why Elon got Twitter.
That's what they don't got Twitter. Could be, I don't know, really.
Great. Okay. One final question from my end. What do you think is a very underrated trend today in 2025, which is going to become a mainstay in the years to come? Could be 26, 27, 28, wherever. Let's just put 3-year window to it.
Let's put 3 trends. 1, 2, 3. First, and let's go bet wise.
Okay.
Where is the
Okay.
first bet, second bet, third bet?
That'll be big in 3 years.
You go first.
I think brands are going to hire nano creators. Brands are going to hire creators based on who they can afford to represent the brand full time.
Full-time?
Yeah, full time.
As
As in,
in-
I'm saying they would be associated with the brand to make content. They could be given freedom to create their own content on the side. But you're
Yeah.
going to see more and more brands associated with creators. That's going to become a trend for sure.
Right.
Because I think you're spending so much on influencer marketing.
exactly.
You might as well
Yeah.
build recall and solidify it. So that I think is definitely going to be a trend. That's one I have. We can take turns if you guys have.
I think regional will definitely be way bigger. I think with a lot of brands, you're going to invest a lot more money in regional creators. Because that's not done enough now. Maybe there aren't enough regional creators also, but I think that's something which will blow up a lot more.
But isn't that going to be subject to their? Anyway, let's not debate it. It's okay.
yeah.
It's not a thing where we need to do that.
My bet changed in the last 7 months. So I think the first bet goes to, this will not sit in your theory. Performance marketing spends are going even higher. Performance marketing creative spend is moving towards this growth team spend. So there are 2 spends. This creative now has even more spend, and hence this spend will be consumed by nano creators, regional creators, and all. So yeah, and this species of creative plus perf is gonna rise. We see Fredo, for an example, internal hires, like 5 years Fredo. You have worked with them closely, but outsider view clearly looks like they are gonna get a head of performance marketing, which right now doesn't exist, who understand both of the world and do everything all together.
Which world? Which 2 worlds?
The creative and performance.
They
who
have
understands
it, yeah.
both. Who understands both. Matlab, genuinely both. See, we all know right now it's all what? Either you are 80% perf, you signal, oh, hey, I understand creative.
Yeah.
But you don't. That's what the reality is.
Yeah.
Chat GPT से script निकालना and just saying कि hey बना के दे दे video is not creative storytelling.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is gonna rise even more.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the first bet. Second,
I don't think this is the only thing that I'm very convinced in my mind. Everything else I think is still flaky. I think it's still going to be up and down.
so whatever you said sits with me as well, but that is sitting in this theory, which is this nano
So I
creators.
think performance creator will basically be more important. Is it purely because of PNL? That's the thing.
Purely because of PNL. Purely because of PNL.
Yeah.
And exactly as I said, right? Like there is this stage issue. Your investors right now, since the movement is happening now, there's like investment was never this stabilized before. It was always risky. You were never were forcing कि मेरे को CM to profitability दिखा के दिखा उस पे. Now once the whole environment is doing that, that means you are forcing for cost optimization.
Yeah.
And exactly as I said, there are only 2 ways to do cost optimization: hire nano creators and micro creators.
Yeah.
And this sits with perf. Because
Exactly.
nano creators, this creators on Instagram,
Cost low.
really don't, they won't drive revenue and all. Because revenues are driven by your larger ones.
Yeah.
At least
Right.
some money moving.
What are your 2 takes? You think you have 3 ideas already in mind?
Second one is vernacular. For sure. I have very big. Especially South. Completely undertapped. The amount of, like, I did not start by thinking South. WakeFit forced us to do South. It took us 6 months to understand South. I'm not from South, I'm from East. So I have no idea about this. Understood South. Now once I understood South, now I know कि okay, Tamil में क्या चलता है, Telugu में क्या चलता है, ये क्या चलता है. Then back to back everything started happening. The gaming brand South.
Yeah.
Then we have pharmacy reaching out for South. Then I have
What is the core reason? Even for us, every brand's asking for all South, even WakeFit and all.
I think
this.
the matter lies there. Your performance by default deploys.
Yeah.
Uttar Pradesh, Bombay, and Karnataka.
So
all. And
it ends in Bangalore.
in Bangalore.
Yeah.
And the reason is creative. Because your creative guys have created creatives in English and Hindi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a cold start problem.
Yeah.
So to come...
Never reached down. Yeah.
And with Super Money, I have 15 campaigns. Each campaign representing one state.
Yeah.
Each state has a different creative that I'm noticing is working. And I'm doing micro, nano, everything combination. And there is a Hindi separate. This deployment I was not doing before. Of bifurcating campaigns according to
based on this.
This and also this insight that one state will have different creative, different CAC, different LTV.
Right.
What is interesting is LTV. I'm working with a Rummy app last 2 years. There are certain markets where my CAC to LTV ratio is higher in the first month, and here is a trick part where the growth comes. There are certain markets where my CAC is so low it drives volume. There are certain markets where my CAC is higher but it drives LTV.
Yeah.
And I have to now, as a open-ended P&L manager, I have to do this permutation combination and deploy creatives accordingly.
Right.
So this is opening up territories, and it will happen.
Yeah.
For sure he will solve it. I'm very bullish on that. This is going to come. It just requires focus.
Started in Kerala, virality Kerala.
Well, no, just virality is enough.
Okay.
Just mix and match. But I have another theory on these on the same thing that you said. So I think vernacular mainline ads have anyway been happening for years, right?
Yeah.
So it's not new. I think we're going to see more English ads.
Yeah.
Okay.
For targeting tier 1 audiences and targeting niche products. Because when I look back over a 25-year window of advertising, mainly mainline, I think I can recall one English ad, which is Naukri.com did something on Hari Sadhu, H for Hitler, A
when
for
you say
arrogant.
English, it means what? Pure English.
Huh.
Everyone is doing that. No?
Isn't that
now
common? Yeah.
it's becoming now, but mainline, if you look at the last 5 years, of course, it's changed and it's changing, but I think it's going to become very, very normal. So
like a Coke will do full English ad.
Yeah, for example.
Don't they already? No, in India.
No.
Okay.
Check. If it's a film without scripts, then yeah.
Okay.
Then your viewer will be entered into saying whatever.
Mainline.
But I'm talking about like a large scale campaign which happens where it's English.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Very
Makes
very
sense.
less.
Makes sense.
So I think that's gonna be a trend that's gonna kick off for sure.
Yeah.
Because now I think even if you do a mainline, you have choice on distribution to limiting it, right?
Yeah.
And so while vernacular works for the others, you will see
Could be.
more refined one working for other brands. Like we had a very close example of a brand we were talking to, and it's a soft drink brand, and they were looking to do an English ad targeting just 8 metros.
Could be.
So that's gonna happen too.
And my third bet is, which is beneficial for him. I think we are both in the same business. He might be doing it in a different way. I might be doing it in a different way. Owning distribution. Now, I'm not talking about YouTube as a thing. Owning distribution can be anything. It can be LinkedIn. It can be Twitter. It can be via founder. It can be via brand. It can be surrogate. This is going to be a larger chunk.
Exactly. Yeah.
Huge chunk. This is going to be.
I think everything will become a red ocean. So then views maxing is the way.
Right.
Which is owning distribution, but for Gen Z.
Kalyug.
Yeah.
And then you die. Then you will die.
All jokes aside, this has been great. Good to catch up with you guys and do
absolutely,
this.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to another one in 6 months.
This is the only way I know. This is the only way I know what you folks are doing.
Shit, this is how we meet. Yeah.
This is how we meet.
It's trying to mix it up. We'll try and see if we can accommodate a larger table.
Pool of
next time.
people.
Yeah, true.
Maybe
Vidhu.
That will be fun. That will be fun.
Yeah. Might not invite you, so
I need heated conversation with 8 agency founders.
Wow.
Perfect.
I need table beating happening in Austin.
Like a debate, yeah.
And Unnati was sleeping, I saw.
Yeah.